Hello and welcome to my channel. Welcome to another tarot reading from me. I know it has been a very long time and I apologize for that. As I have explained at some point, I don't know how many of you have heard that, but in a previous video I did mention that I started a university program last year in October. And right now it's exam season basically, so I am stressed the fuck out, to be honest. Pardon my language. But yeah, and it's ongoing. I still have about another 2 weeks and 2 major exams within the next 2 weeks. And yeah, wish me luck. What could I say? So I really have not had the time. I was just too stressed out. And before that, there were other stuff. So like before exam season, which started about a month ago, there was other stuff like health issues and personal issues and whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I just also kind of felt like taking a break maybe from tarot. Although I have to say, I use tarot on a daily basis for myself and for acquaintances. And I've also had quite a few consultations requests in the past 3 months or so. So thank you for that. And yeah, I'm gonna start posting more often. I am gonna be doing the predictions for 2026. I kept thinking about whether I should start with that one or not, but since I have been gone for such a long time, I feel like I should start with something that is more likely to, I guess, be in higher demand, because most of you kept telling me that you want to see another love reading, especially since Valentine's Day is coming up. I figured this would be very much welcome, but I'm still going to post the predictions for 2026. I really hope to post it within the next week or so. And yeah, also I know quite a few of you have written me emails, thank you for that, to ask for requests and also to suggest various requests, and I have taken them into account. So yeah, also thank you for those of you who are in my membership section. It does mean a lot that you are continuing to support me, and I will be posting some more stuff in the membership section as well. Yeah, that being said, as usual, I have chosen these crystals intuitively. I asked Spirit which crystals should I choose for this particular topic. And these are the ones that came out in this particular order. And yeah, this is for those of you who want to choose with a crystal and just a crystal. Pile number 1, you have this iolite crystal. Pile number 2, you have this kunzite crystal. Pile number 3, you have this blue calcite crystal. Trying to get it to zoom in. I think that's as far as it's gonna go. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So, once again, the question is, who is coming towards you in love? You can also tweak the question a little bit. You can adapt it. You can instead ask, I don't know, who is going to be my next romantic partner, or who has a crush on me. With this topic, since it is relationship oriented, I think you could also tweak it a little bit and still get accurate messages. But for the most part, to get the best results, I do recommend that you stay on topic and focus on the question of who is coming towards me in love. And as usual, my recommendation is that you take some moments to meditate upon the question, take some deep breaths, exhale longer than you inhale. That will help center you and calm you down. Keep some moments with stay with your eyes closed a few moments, and then open your eyes and choose the first pile that stands out to you intuitively without overthinking. If you feel drawn to more than one crystal, feel free to look at 2 or even all 3 of them and just take whichever messages resonate. I will see you at your reading. So hello once again, this is for those of you who want to choose with a pile as well as a crystal. I just got this like tablecloth, well, just got it like about, I don't know, 2-3 months ago, because I kept planning on recording a video and it didn't happen. But yeah, I got it especially for this channel, so I hope you like it. I know it doesn't quite match the background, but I think it looks nice. I made an effort with, you know, the rose petals and stuff. And I got a few new decks, which I have already almost used up. I mean, not all, like you can't really actually completely use them up, but you know, like they're getting a little they're getting some wear and tear already, because I've used them a lot for myself, but I haven't used them for the channel at all so far. But yeah, here it is. I really love this deck, and it's already, I'm just looking at one of the cards because it has a little flaw, like a little defect already. Whatever. It will have to do. I really love this deck. This is why I have already used it to the max. I forgot what it's called, but I will be looking at the you know, the box that it came into, and I will be listing it in the description. So, Spirit, tell me about pile number 1, the Iolite, who is coming towards them in love. Spirit, tell me about pile number 2, the Kunzite, who is coming towards them. Who is coming towards them in love, Spirit? Tell me about pile number 3, who's coming towards them in love. I also want to mention, okay, oh, hold on, I'm going to mention it a little bit later. So, pile number 1, you have the Page of Cups. Pile number 2, you have the 7 of Cups. And pile number 3, you have the Death card. All right, I'm going to zoom in. So this is for those of you who want to choose with a card as well as a crystal. I was going to say it before, but I saved it for the general presentation so that as many people here as possible. I actually did not plan for the crystals to be blue. As usual, like I said, I have looked over my collection of crystals. I have lost count of how many, but definitely over 20. And I kept hovering above them, and I kept asking Spirit which crystals I should use. So I'm very intuitive about these things. I go by gut feeling when I choose them. And it just so happened that all 3 of them turned out to be blue. I don't know if my subconscious overall is very blue right now, because like I got the new blue tablecloth and the blue deck. Like, so yeah, I don't know, maybe it's my subconscious being all blue, but I just wanted to say that I did not cherry pick the crystals. It just happened that these are the ones that came out. Yeah, and then in the previous section, you can also see that I chose the card for each crystal intuitively, as in through shuffling. All right, so pile number 1, you have this card over here and or this Iolite crystal. Pile number 2, you have this card over here and or this Kunzite crystal. Pile number 3, you have this card over here and or this blue calcite crystal. All right. These are your options. I also want to mention, do not go by the significations of the cards. You have to be as intuitive as possible. As usual, my recommendation is that you take some moments to meditate upon the question with your eyes closed. Take some deep breaths, inhale, and then exhale for a little bit longer than you inhale. The normal recommendation is 7 seconds inhale, 4 seconds holding it, and then 8 seconds exhale, and do this for at least 10 times. This is also something that is recommended for reducing anxiety, and it's something that helps to center you and calm you down and put you in that kind of, you know, more intuitive state. And after you've taken some moments to meditate, to close your eyes, allow your mind to go blank, open your eyes and choose the first pile, either the card or the crystal that stands out to you intuitively without overthinking. And if you feel drawn to more than one, of course, you are free to watch 2 or even all 3 of them and just take whichever messages resonate. Before I sign off, I will remind you to please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. It is the easiest way to support me, and it is free. And consider clicking on the notifications bell to see when I will upload a new tarot reading. And of course, feel free to share your feedback in the comment section. I'm very curious to hear about it. Thank you, and I will see you at your reading. Welcome, pile number 1. This is the reading you have chosen. if you have chosen the Page of Cups card and or this iolite crystal. So this is going to be the card selection phase. I'm going to add timestamps so you can skip directly to the interpretation if you don't want to sit through it. All right, so let me start with the tarot cards. Spirit, tell me about pile number 1, the people who chose the iolite crystal. Who is coming towards them in love? We have Wheel of Fortune. We have 5 of Pentacles, 6 of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, Death, and the Sun. Nice. Trying to arrange them. All right. Spirit, tell me about pile number 1. Who's coming towards them in love? I don't know why I got the urge to... Ooh, we have Wheel of Fortune twice. All right. I had the urge to flip these over directly for some reason. So yeah, 10 of Swords. See what I mean? I only got these cards like a few months ago, but they already have the wear and tear because I have been using them intensely. I do tarot for myself like pretty much daily and for people close to me. All right. 10 of Swords, Knight of Wands, the Magician, Wheel of Fortune again, 4 of Cups, the Moon. All right, let's get some Oracle cards. Spirit, who's coming towards pile number 1 in love? 2 of them came out. All right, Shadow Self, and we have a moon theme again here with a raven and the moon in the background. And we have Hope. Interesting, so we have the sun and the moon again reflected. Nice. Sun and moon energy. Let's see. Who's coming towards pile number 1 in love? Butterfly. Nice. This is the Death card. Transformation. I was gonna say this person has strong Scorpio. All right, so let me get straight into it. So pile number 1, we have the Wheel of Fortune coming out twice. We have the Death card and the Butterfly. We have the Shadow Self and the Moon, which have very similar energies. We have the Moon over here. We have the Moon over here. So, and also we have the Sun coming out. And we have this card with Hope, which seems to mirror the same card. We have a very strong Sun energy here. We have the Sun energy here. So this person is someone who has strong Sun and Moon energy. And we also have the Shadow Self here. All right, so let me break it down step by step. Page of Cups is the first card. Let's see, does the Page of Cups? No, it does not appear twice. So we have Wheel of Fortune, 10 of Swords. I'm going to start getting some clarifications already. Spirit, please clarify the 10 of Swords for me. 8 of Pentacles. So this person is someone who, at the time being, when you come across this reading, is someone who is in a process of recovering from a pretty rough stage in their lives. This is a person who is either about to hit rock bottom or has in the recent past hit rock bottom with the 10 of Swords. Because it is clarified by the 8 of Pentacles, I see that this has to do with work. So this is a person who is very hardworking, might be a little bit of a workaholic, quite frankly. And maybe they have even gone into burnout in recent history, or they might be approaching burnout. Even if it's not a question of actual burnout, this is definitely a person who is really tired, all right? And I think it's also, right, it could be a person who has been through some significant defeat or ending, some kind of a painful situation regarding work in the recent history. I think for most of you, this is a person who has already gone through this and they're currently in the process of recovering. So the Wheel of Fortune shows that there is a slow progress, right? So there's like the wheel is just starting to turn in their favor now. So this is their present situation, their present circumstance. The Five of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands shows me that this person is lucky. So they are helped by fortune to some extent. They're supported by, I guess, divine providence, if you will. They have a lot of opportunities that are about to show up in the near future because of that Five of Pentacles. They're also someone who knows how to be resourceful. They're someone who knows how to land on their feet. This is a bit of Mercury energy, and I'm picking up a little bit of Mercury already with the Page of Cups and, yeah, with the Knight of Wands as well. So there's a bit of a youthful energy with this person. I cannot say anything about age. I'm going to refrain from saying anything about that until I get to the astrological notes. But I do see a youthful spirit, someone who is hopeful about the future. And the Five of Pentacles is earth energy. Ten of Swords is air energy. I do see quite a bit of earth with this person. I'm guessing that this is someone who has strong fixed energy in their horoscope. So that means Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and or Aquarius. Potentially also someone with a strong moon. But let's go back to what is supporting this person through life, right? They have a kind of enthusiasm. They have a kind of zest for life with that Knight of Wands. They're very passionate about something, even though they might be tired or they may have gone through some setbacks in recent history. They are ready to get back into the action, get back into action. They are, looking towards grabbing the next opportunities. They are proactive, and they're someone who's very purposeful. I'm definitely getting strong fire as well with the Knight of Wands, the Six of Wands, the Magician, the Sun. I would not be surprised if this person had very strong Sun and or Moon. I said that pretty much from the beginning because the Sun and the, not just because the Sun and the Moon cards came out, but because we have repeated Sun, Moon energy. The number 1 on the Magician is ruled by the Sun as well. 6 is also ruled by Venus, but again, I'm going to see more specific astrological notes as I go along. What I can say so far, youthful energy has gone through recent setbacks, will have opportunities, especially career and finance opportunities with the Five of Pentacles. They are showing up and supporting them in the near future. And I also feel like this person has some kind of divine providence, like something protecting them, Six of Wands and the Magician is interesting because it's in opposition here. So the way that I would read this is a person who is hard to, on the one hand, hard to satisfy in many ways, but also when it comes to themselves, they're someone who's very self-critical, someone who is never really resting on their laurels, and they might be quite strict with themselves, it's like they're their own worst critic, almost like their harshest critic, because the Six of Wands, especially in opposition, speaks of a person who's just never happy with what they have. It's like no matter how much they achieve, they will keep wanting more. But at the same time, the Magician shows that this person is very creative. There's someone who probably has learned to come up with all kinds of creative solutions to their problems, which has led them to develop quite a bit of confidence and maybe a bit of an ego as well, which again explains all of the Sun energy as well. And I think this person is, there's someone who has a vision, but they're very impatient. It's like they want everything by yesterday, They have a vision, they have big ambitions, and they're impatient with respect to getting what they want. Now, Queen of Pentacles with the Wheel of Fortune. So here again, we have the Wheel of Fortune, just like in the beginning. So this is definitely showing me that, see, this is the recent past or the past, okay? And this is the present. So this person has already started on this Wheel of Fortune. Whenever I get the Wheel of Fortune, I get that song, that 90s song from Ace of Base playing in my head. Like, what you gonna tell your dad's like a Wheel of Fortune. What you gonna tell your dad if this wheel lets you down? Anyway, I'm an older millennial, so I remember that song when it used to play on every channel, and I even had that. Well, my sister, who is older than I am by 10 plus years, had that album on cassette, and I used to listen to it all the time in the 90s. Anyway, but this is a person who has gone through some recent ups and downs, and it's not just a recent thing. This is why I think this person has very strong fixed energy, because the Wheel of Fortune on the traditional Rider-Waite deck, I said this before, if maybe some of you have paid attention, is showing the 4 fixed signs in every corner, right? So it has Taurus, it has, I don't remember which corner is which, but in the traditional Rider-Waite deck that came out in the 1900s, early 1900s, it was not like the first tarot ever, but it's like the basis of the modern tarot readers. And it's very rich in symbolisms anyway. And yeah, on that one, basically, it had the 4 fixed signs on the Wheel of Fortune. And this is why the Wheel of Fortune represents kind of painful changes, changes that are happening against the person's will. Because fixed signs are signs that do not take change lightly. They're not flexible. They are people who are very stubborn. They want things to be exactly the way that they want them, when they want them, how they want them. They're not, they're rigid. They can be stubborn. And so the Wheel of Fortune kind of symbolizes painful changes that even the most rigid people have to go through in order to grow. Basically, right? It's like growing pains. That's what it is. And this person has been going through it for some time already, because the Wheel of Fortune is in the past and in the present for them, right? So some painful changes, but the Queen of Pentacles over there shows that these changes have definitely been for the better. Queen of Pentacles shows that this person has become, as a result of these changes and up until this point, has become pretty confident in their ability to take care of themselves financially, to be resourceful, in a way to fill their own cup. Queen of Pentacles is like mature earth energy, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, but like a very mature expression of each of those archetypes, right? I was also going to say that it would not surprise me if this person had prominent Capricorn as well, because we have the number 10 4 times, basically. The Wheel of Fortune has the number 10 on it. So the 10 makes me think of the 10th house, but of course, number 10 can also boil down to a 1 again, which is just further reinforcement of the sun energy, right? And if you take it as a number 1, the number 1 shows up on 5 different cards here. And then you also have actually 6 different cards, including the sun, because the sun also has the number 19 on it, which is a 1 plus 9, and that boils down to a number 1. So the number 1 in numerology corresponds to the sun energy, right? Leo, sun energy. So the king and queen archetype, okay, someone who has a healthy sense of self-confidence, a healthy sense of self, period. They know who they are, they know what they want, that kind of thing. And yeah, this person, I think, due to trials and tribulations, have gotten to a point where they're quite self-sufficient in many ways. I would say on mostly a material level, but also when it comes to emotional maturity to some extent. Which also makes me think that I think this person is wiser than their age. And the reason I say that is because the initial energy that came through is pretty youthful, and then the past shows the Queen of Pentacles, So I really think that this is someone who is wiser. They're mentally and emotionally much older than they look, all right, irrespective of what their physical age is. Another way to look at this in a very literal sense and very specific, maybe for some of them, is that there's someone who in the recent past, or maybe even for a long time in the past, have been under the control, either physically or emotionally, of some Queen of Pentacles archetype. Most likely an elder female within their home, within their family system. Could be a manager, depends on the situation. since this person also has a lot of work stuff, this could literally be a boss, a manager, you know, this could be someone who, for instance, has just recently changed careers after 10 years on the same position or something, you know, some kind of traumatic change like that. Or maybe they were laid off because, like I said, with the Wheel of Fortune, most likely the change is not self-motivated, you know, it's something where it's kind of like where destiny kicks you in the butt so that you can move forward, you know what I mean? It's like when destiny, or like the universe or God or whatever you want to call it, basically nudges you and pushes you to get out of your comfort zone because you need to grow, right? We also have the number 13. I just realized 13 here. So the number 4, all right, number 4 is showing up a lot. I was also going to say initially, and I'm thinking of this right now as well, that this person gives me some strong Rahu vibes as well. Even though I don't remember exactly if Rahu was associated to a certain number in numerology, but I personally would sort of associate it with the number 4 because of materialism. All right, so number 4 is about stability. But again, there's also in numerology, the number 4 is also very much associated to rigidity. You know, like people who don't want to change, who like things to be slow and steady and moving down predictable paths and all that. So yeah, this person, like, I mean, I'm liking the fact that I'm getting a lot of, I'm getting more and more messages about them, and I'm curious to see what the astrological placements are going to show, because I would not be surprised to see some Rahu, some Scorpio, some Sun, some Moon. Yeah, I'm going to see. Anyway. So yeah, this is the past, all right? Now we have, this is the future, and this is what action they are taking, their trajectory, their course of action, the path they are on, all right? So we have the Death, and we have the 4 of Cups. And then we have here, we have the Shadow Self. Check this out. This person is definitely working through some psychological stuff. Because I was going to say this from the beginning, I don't know if I said it, because I feel like I've said this so many times when I get these cards that it's become kind of a cliche, but I'm going to keep saying it because, of course, I have to remind myself that some people are coming across this channel for the first time. The Sun and the Moon are mother and, the Sun and the Moon are the father and the mother archetype, respectively, in astrology, all right? In tarot, according to traditional interpretations, the Sun and the Moon don't necessarily show the father and the mother, but this is how I read it because I've developed kind of like my own system, and also I use astrology a lot. And I was going to say this, also the Moon in traditional tarot does show the subconscious, right? Kind of like a battle between the subconscious and the conscious mind. Again, in the traditional Rider-Waite deck, the Moon has that picture of a dog and a wolf howling at the moon. And the dog and the wolf kind of represent the dual side of the subconscious, right? So like the dog is the conscious, the wolf is the subconscious, or like the wild side, or so to speak. And I feel like this is a person who is making conscious effort to understand themselves. They are in some kind of transformational process of going within, becoming self-aware. The 4 of Cups is very much a card that has to deal with thinking first and foremost. So there's someone who is thinking a lot, they're lost in thought a lot. But the 4 of Cups is also about discernment. It's about boundaries, you know. So having him view the rest of the spread, I feel like, especially with this one, hello, in the beginning, I think this is a person who maybe in recent history has been faced with their own limitations, you know, or maybe it has even had some health problems that have, you know, caused them to stop whatever they were doing and stop pushing themselves to the limit, so that they rethink what they should be prioritizing, you know. So I feel like maybe this is someone who has taken on more work than they could handle, more projects than they could handle, or maybe they were working towards this one thing, like these cards suggest with the Magician. Like I feel like this is someone who has a vision of something they want to achieve, or they want to create or something. So maybe it could have been like that, but they took on, you know, too much too soon. And so they got really tired And now they're in a process where they have to learn to say no. They have to be discerning. They have to say, okay, I can work on this for today, but I can't work on the other thing. Or I can take this opportunity, but I'm not going to take this one because it's not 100% in alignment with my vision, you know? So this is what it makes me think of. Then we have the sun and the moon. So the way that I would read this, considering the rest of the spread, is that, oh, I should have mentioned this also with the death. I think maybe I implied it. They're going through a transformation. So this person is becoming something else. They're growing, okay? Basically, this whole spread is about painful growth. Like I said, growing pains, all right? This person has really, you know, probably hit their heads against the wall repeatedly, and they finally had to admit that they need to change something, you know? Makes me think of that quote by, I don't remember who it was by. Some people attributed it to Einstein, but I seriously doubt it. Maybe it was. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The quote is something like, the definition of insanity is repeating the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome. I feel like this is this person, you know. I'm seeing a lot of fixed energy. Like this is the kind of person that's like eyes on the prize and try to just bulldoze their way towards their goal, and figured that they're hitting too many obstacles and maybe consuming too much of their energy on stuff that is not important. So now they have to go through kind of a re-strategizing of their, you know, a re-strategizing, whatever, of their goal. And yeah. So the sun and the moon shows that this person is heading towards a balance between the conscious and the subconscious, all right? The reasoning mind, the conscious mind, that is the sun, or the masculine if you want. A lot of people like to think of it like that. The moon is the emotional, the feminine, the emotional needs, the vulnerabilities, the subconscious, the imagination, right? So this person is in the process of balancing, of harmonizing their different selves, right? And also we have the shadow self and the hope. I feel like this person is also becoming more and more optimistic. They're learning to become optimistic. And look at here, look at this. We have, this card has the word, the soul. I don't know if you can see it. You can probably see it. And we have a number here. Oh my God, look at this. We have the number 28, another number 1. Holy crap, this person must have a very strong sun. If you're coming from my astrology channel, I wonder if this person has Atmakaraka, has sun as Atmakaraka, or Leo Lagna, or has Leo in the ascendant or moon. So Lagna or ascendant is the same thing. You know, Leo sun or moon, you know, so couldn't have prominent Leo, prominent sun. Maybe the sun is prominently placed sun in the 1st house and the 10th house. Sun conjunct the Lord of the Lagna, etc. Could be a number of variations. Of course, placements in the sun ruled nakshatras, which are Kritika, Purva Falguni, and Uttara Falguni and Uttarashadha. So yeah, this person is in a phase where they are learning what's important for them again. They're getting back in touch with what their real purpose in life is. All right. So yeah, what I can say, this is what I can say so far. And I know it's not very specific. So let me see what the astrological notes have to say. I'm very curious. Tell me about pile number 1. Who is this person who's coming towards pile number 1? No friggin' way. Did you see that? Oh my God. Okay, so we don't have the sun so far. But look at this. We have opposition. Kind of makes me think of the sun and the moon. We have the moon, so that part is confirmed. We have the 4th house, that's more moon. And we have the number 4 again. We have Taurus. That's a fixed sign, confirmation. 2nd house, I could see this is more Taurus, okay? 2nd house, resources and values. And if you come from my, well, not just if you come from my astrology channel, actually, but yeah, especially if you come from my astrology channel. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in previous tarot readings though as well. 2nd house to me, based on what I have seen in horoscopes and reading a lot of horoscopes of famous psychologists, for instance, 2nd house is very much connected to psychotherapy, which makes sense when you think about the traditional symbolism and traditional meaning of the second house, which is about family of origin. And psychology is all about analyzing the relationship to the family of origin to a large extent. It's not only that, but that's a big part, right, of what creates a person's base personality and their memories and potential traumas and all that. So to me, this is a very strong confirmation that this is a person who is really working through some stuff. So they could be going through therapy. Maybe they're even in the process of becoming a psychotherapist or like studying therapy, some form of psychotherapy, or, you know, some form of emotional healing, or maybe some spiritual practice that is oriented towards healing traumas and stuff. Would not be surprised. Also, second house could show that this person has a very nice voice. You could really notice their voice. This could be a person who also, you could notice that they're pretty close to their family. But considering the stuff that is coming through here, for some of them, that could be trauma bonding, you know what I mean? Like, this can be a person that on the surface seems like they're really close to their family, but they may not have the healthiest relationships to their family members, you know? Which I know doesn't maybe say much because you have no way of knowing what's going on in the private life of some person. But this is how I would read it, considering the rest of the cards that came through. This could also be a person who is very particular about their diet, or they could be very interested in food. This could be a person that you saw in a restaurant for the first time, or they could have seen you in a restaurant for the first time, or you could have met in some circumstance connected to food, eating, diet, maybe at a nutritionist's office. Again, could also be through a therapist, psychotherapist office. You could have met this person through anything connected to finances and money directly, because the second house is about savings. So, like, I don't know, you could have met at the bank, or they could be working in a bank, right? They could also have professions connected to any of these things, or interests connected to these things, you know? So they could be someone who's very focused on, I mean, making money. That already came through with the rest of the cards. There's so many pentacles here, so I'm not surprised that we have Taurus. Also, let's not forget the moon is exalted in Taurus. So this definitely confirms the very headstrong vibe that is coming through this spread about this person. This person probably comes across as someone who is very unwavering, at least in some respects. All right, like, they're, you know what it makes me think of? It makes me think of that saying, don't mess with the bull, you'll get the horns, you know? Like, maybe this is a person who seems very nice and happy-go-lucky in some ways, but if people try to push their boundaries, you know, they immediately see that they're dealing with an immovable force, basically, because they're very rigid and very determined to have things their own way. With the second house, also, I was going to say about how you met this person, right? So I think there is a strong possibility that, like I said, you could have met through their family of origin or your family of origin. This could also be, which is more specific, this could be a situation where you first heard their voice before you saw them, actually, or they could have heard your voice before they saw you for the first time. Like, I don't know, you could have spoken by phone when you first met. This could also be a situation where you really like their face. I have to say, with actually all of these things, like the moon, Taurus, and the second house connect to an attractive face, you know? The moon actually shows the face. So I feel like this person's face really stands out, which to me shows me that they could be quite attractive, at least in your eyes, you know? And, or this is how you're going to meet them, because I just realized I just assumed as if you've already met this person. It's not a given. But this could be when you meet them, right? So you could just notice their face. They could be very conventionally attractive. And with Taurus and Venus, you know, and the moon, this person could also, irrespective of gender, they could have some traditionally feminine features. Like, they could have full lips, they could have a really oval face and nice skin, wide eyes, you know, they could have really, usually with Taurus, they have pretty eyes that have like heavy eyelids, you know, kind of that look really dreamy in some ways, you know, or very peaceful. Also, they could have a strong jaw, irrespective of their gender. Their hair probably is really nice as well. And what else? Let me think. Oh, with respect to physical appearance overall, this person could be quite hefty, you know. They could maybe not necessarily be overweight, although being overweight could also be a thing, but they could, irrespective of, you know, how much they weigh, they will look pretty solid, pretty sturdy, you know. Maybe if they're a man, most likely they have a broad body frame, you know, broad shoulders, a broad back, and all that. Same thing as if this is a woman, you know, most likely they're not going to be like super skinny, basically. Also, with the moon, there is a touch of moodiness, a sensitivity about them. They could be nurturing, imaginative, creative. I mean, we do have the Page of Cups as in initial energy, you know, so this could be someone who is very tender-hearted, but maybe that's not immediately obvious, you know. And with opposition, I feel like this is to be seen in two ways. Number one, because we have the sun and the moon coming out initially, and then we also have that opposition card. I feel like this could be their two dichotomous sides that they're working on blending right now that I was talking about, you know, the conscious and the subconscious. But I also feel like for many of you, opposition means that this person is very different than you, could even be a complete opposite, you know. So it could be a situation of opposites attract, you know. And yeah, but this person is going to come across as nurturing and sweet, and they could be very soothing in some ways, you know. They, like I said, irrespective of gender, this person has a pretty strong feminine touch as well. And with the fourth house, you could have definitely met this person through their family or your family, you know, so there's heavy family energy here. Hello, I mean, fourth house is also about the mother and the family, you know, and the actual home. And both of them are connected to food and real estate, you know, real estate, the home base. So you could have met this person through something connected to real estate, something connected to vehicles, like maybe you were looking for a car and you met them. Also, the way that I also interpret the fourth house in today's world is you could have also met online, because fourth house means that you could have met someone from your home. But in today's world, that means that you were sitting, you know, at your laptop and and that's how you saw them for the first time, or you were, I don't know, you met on a dating app or on social media or whatever, or you see them, that's how you see them. And fourth house can also show that, and also the second, that you were close to the place of birth when you met this person. This could also be that this person is also involved in some career connected or activities connected to the fourth house, you know, real estate, vehicles, and interior decoration, anything that has to deal with the home base. History as well. Maybe they're very interested in history. But like I said, there's some beef here. Not beef, but yeah, I mean, with the cards, there is potentially some beef here. But yeah, there's some stuff, some intense stuff going on with the family of origin here with this person. Like, they were heavily affected by their family of origin. I actually see a particularly strong connection to the mother. This could also be, and I know not a lot of people want to hear this, but this could also be a person who reminds you of your mother. Because this could be another way to look at this, actually, not just with respect to this person. This could be a person that challenges you to deal with your mother wounds, or like to mend the relationship with your mother, right? Because you have all this moon and, you know, subconscious and shadow self, and yeah. But I think overall this person is quite intuitive and instinctive mostly, all right? They're kind of heading towards that sun energy, but they're not there yet, you know? This is like their ultimate outcome. This is why I said I really think for many of you, this person has sun as Atmakaraka or Atmatyakaraka, or somehow it's strongly connected to their ultimate destiny in this life, you know? All right, this is what I see with the astral cards. Let me get Astro Dice Spirit. Tell me, who is this person coming towards pile number one? Oh, look at this. We have Leo. And we have number 12, that is Pisces / Jupiter. And we have Venus again, which rules Taurus. She's got it. Yeah, baby, she's got it. Anyway, that's an old song. But yeah, Venus, again, this person has strong Venus. This person is good looking, all right? Venus seals the deal. I already had strong hunches with the rest of the cards, but Venus definitely tells you this person is good looking. Venus is classically beautiful, basically, in the eyes of most people. So this is the kind of person that most people would find attractive. All right. Also, Venus is a very strong confirmation of everything I said about the second house and Taurus. So this person could be very sensuous, very pleasant. They can also just come across as someone who is calming and soothing, has a bit of a healing touch. Definitely some strong feminine energies, but this person also has strong masculine with the Leo coming through as well, and the sun. Hello, strong confirmations, yeah. So yeah, Leo, number 12 is interesting because number 12 is on the one hand connected to isolation, but it can also be connected to faraway places. It's also very much connected to the subconscious and dreams. Now I'm getting that song in my head, In Dreams by Roy Orbison. Again, it's an old song. I'm not going to start singing it because it's embarrassingly romantic and sappy, but it's a nice song if you're in the mood for it. And it has, Roy Orbison had a great voice anyway. So yeah, maybe look for that song. But what I was going to say is maybe this is a person that you're already dreaming about or fantasizing about, or they're fantasizing about you. And also because, like I said, it is faraway places. This could be someone that is very far away from you. There's a distance maybe between the two of you. And or this could be someone who works in situations of isolation, like hospitals, prisons, temples, religious organizations. I don't know. They like to meditate. That's another one. But again, with the subconscious, very strong imagination. Very creative, very instinctive. This person is pretty instinctive, I have to say. All right. They're developing that sun energy, but they're also like their baseline, I feel, is strongly intuitive, emotional, instinctive, you know. And they could be artistic as well. Maybe they're not, you know, doing art for a living, but I see a strong artistic streak here. And this person could also be working with a lot of women, irrespective of their gender, like I said, or they could be working in a field that is dominated by women with the moon and Venus energy. They could, like I definitely said with the Taurus and the Venus, they could be working in any profession where they directly work with money, like even accounting, anything that has to deal with savings, possessions, like even something like an antique store, you know. By the way, 12th house is about import export as well, so maybe this is someone who has like an online business or some kind of business where they're selling and buying stuff. And of course, because the 12th house is subconscious, it's also hidden, by the way. So this could be, again, a person that is like looking at you from the shadows, or you're looking at them from the shadows. Okay, maybe you're looking at each other from the shadows, but you have no idea already, right? And again, it's not necessarily the case that you've already met this person. Okay, some of you, when you meet, you might, you know, see them first, and they might see you first, and they might look at you from a distance, something like that, you know. And also here we have like, oh my gosh, so many confirmations. I have missed doing a proper tarot reading like this. I love it. Anyway, fixed energy, right? Like I was hammering about Leo and the sun the whole time, and we have Leo coming out, we had the moon, so many confirmations, we had Taurus, so definitely the fixed energy here. The person is stubborn, all right? This person is really stubborn. They're stubborn, they're willful, they know what they want. They're like, I want it, I get it, by Ariana Grande, who incidentally also happens to have Venus in Kritika, which is ruled by the sun, and it falls in Taurus, and it's very stubborn. Anyway, yeah, also with the sun and the moon coming out strongly, for most of you, of course, take it within the limits of genetic inheritance, but they will tend towards a lighter, fairer complexion, usually with these placements. The face could also be, usually with Cancer, what I see is either they tend to have a wide, roundish face, or they have, how should I put it? A kind of like a kind of elongated face that kind of looks like a half moon. Sometimes I see that, like with a pretty long chin, and but they tend to have a, you know, moon tends to show a lot of flesh, a lot of fleshiness, you know, like a lot of plumpness. So they tend to have dreamy eyes with, you know, heavy eyelids, and they tend to have strong cheekbones, you know, or like rounded cheeks that, you know, are very prominent when they talk, when they smile. Also, full lips are very common with them. Yeah. And what else can I say with the number 12? Number 12 could also be Jupiter. Oh my God. I just realized, wow, this could be one very strong symbol because number 12 is number 1 and number 2 side by side. Number 1 being the sun and number 2 being the moon. So this is maybe there's just their vibe of, you know, becoming a middle ground between the sun and the moon, you know, being like balancing their, you know, in traditional psychological talk, you could say that this person is working on healing their mother and their father wounds, you know, like balancing the masculine and their feminine sides within their consciousness, because maybe they had an abusive mother or an abusive father, and so they rejected all the parts of themselves that reminded them of that parent, you know, so now they're working on reintegrating those parts of themselves. All right, this is what I see. Let me get some more astrological cards. Sorry, some handwritten notes. All right, let's see. Tell me about pile number 1. Who is coming towards them in love? Wow, there's a lot of stuff that came through here. Of course, this is a general reading. So here we have Capricorn, strong confirmation, because I did say the number 10 was coming out like 4 times. So this person is a workaholic, yeah. Saturn, more Capricorn. I was also kind of thinking about this when I looked at the cards, but 10 of Swords especially. So with Capricorn and Saturn coming through, as I was saying, this person is mature. They're more mature than they look. And also physically, they probably have a nice bone structure. And they probably have like prominent, they have something like a dignified aura about them. And here we have Jupiter as well. So maybe that number 12 did not come out for nothing. Right at the end. On the dice, I mean. We have Libra, which is Venus. Let's see. Sagittarius. Maybe this is about... Yeah, Sagittarius is also ruled by Jupiter. So it's a confirmation that this person is coming from a faraway place. Mercury, the youthfulness and intellectual ability. Leo, another confirmation. A double confirmation. Oh my God. Venus, again. Aquarius, this is the 3rd fixed sign out of 4. And the moon. Oh my God, double confirmation again. The moon came out twice. The moon came out 3 times. It came out as a tarot card, as a astrology card, and my handwritten note. Unbelievable. Satabishak, falling in Aquarius, ruled by Rahu. Here we have a little bit of Rahu. So Aquarius is co-ruled by Rahu, which, by the way, is the north node in tropical astrology, but I use Vedic. Dhanishta, falling in Capricorn and Aquarius, ruled by Mars. Kritika, which is ruled by the sun. Wow, massive confirmations. I love it. Uttara Falguni, wow, 2nd sun ruled Kritika, sun ruled nakshatra, sorry, very strong confirmation. I was thinking about Pushya, but I didn't say it. When I was talking about fleshiness and stuff, Pushya seems to have, like, when it comes to aesthetics, at least, when it comes to their physical appearance, they seem to have this very desirable blend that is in line with the fashion and the beauty ideals in today's world, which is... They have very pronounced bone structure, you know, so they, for instance, will have faces that are really bony and stuff, but they will still have, like, very full lips, right? Or, like, very plump cheeks or something. Like, Angelina Jolie has ascended in Pushya, for instance. I'm pretty sure Kylie Minogue also has it. Can't think of any examples right now. Oh, I'm pretty sure Pamela Anderson, I think, has either her moon or her ascendant in Pushya. But like a lot of women, especially who are considered very attractive, and even with men, have these placements, have Pushya placements. They tend to be seen as very conventionally attractive by today's standards because they have that blend of having like a slim, structured and even bony physique mixed with like some sensual features, like some plumpness and stuff. Hasta, which is falling in Virgo, ruled by the moon, more moon energy. I cannot take it anymore. And yeah, falling in Virgo. So Hasta, okay, let me break down everything that I see, some other stuff that I am seeing from these. So with Saturn, I would say that there is an age difference. It is possible, okay, not extremely likely, but it is possible that there is an age difference between you and this person of 7+ years, either direction, younger, older. But like I said, this person most likely is more mature than they look. With Venus and the moon, very strong confirmations of everything I said before. So I definitely, and I see even more confirmations of this here, that this person is definitely good looking, all right? Especially, I have to say, if this person is well, not just actually, but especially if this person is a man, they also come across as pretty masculine, the kind of man that a lot of women would find attractive because there's a heavy amount of sun energy here in addition to the moon. And with Aquarius coming out pretty strongly, Satabhishak Nakshatra coming out strongly, this person definitely has a very independent nature. They can seem pretty aloof in some ways, even detached. Satabhishak also, that explains the Ten of Swords coming out and also that Wheel of Fortune on multiple levels. Not just because it falls in Aquarius, which is a fixed sign, but it's also very much connected to suffering. I actually had a video, if you're curious, on my astrology channel called Astro Martine, which I will be linking in the video description. I have a video especially about Satabhishak and about how it really teaches people through suffering. It's also called the nakshatra of 1,000 physicians to the gods. It's very much connected to medical fields and people who get into studying medicine because they want to understand their own suffering. They want to make themselves, feel better, or people they care about feel better. And so they become very good at understanding particular ailments. So already this is a strong confirmation, really, that for some of you, this person could literally be in some kind of healing profession, especially with Venus coming out strongly as well. Venus is connected to healing. Even if they're not actually a doctor or something, they could just have a very healing nature, a healing vibe. Like maybe people are drawn to them because they can sense that this person is really sane, or like they really emphasize sanity in this world, which is a rare thing. And yeah, they could have something about them that is soothing, that is calming, that people feel safe around. So I would not be surprised again if this person were a psychotherapist or would be would be heavily into psychology, even if they're not working in these fields, like I said. With Capricorn, like I said, Capricorn and Jupiter and Saturn, this person, I feel like they are neither super traditional or super non-traditional. This could be a person who kind of hovers back and forth in between traditions and unconventional views of things. Maybe there's someone who has been very traditional, maybe even religious up until a certain point in life. And later they started getting more into unconventional points of views, maybe developing more of a new age philosophy. Or they could be the other way around. Like maybe they started out being very new age and tried everything, and now they're moving towards becoming a member of an organized religion or something, right? So yeah, I see that this person can definitely think a lot about philosophical topics, like where they stand with respect to their views of life after death and the grand scheme of things, and, if there is a God and all that stuff. But yeah, again, this is pretty general because this is a general reading, so it's hard to tell exactly how it will go, depending. Of course, you would have to see more in specific individual cases. But yeah, this is what I can tell generally. Like, there's someone who cares about, has pondered on topics like philosophy and where they stand with respect to God, but I don't see them as being either super religious or particularly non-religious. Yeah. Um yeah, so very strong sun energy shows me that if this is a man, okay, irrespective of gender, let me start like this. This is a person that most people probably view as quite confident, okay? They view this person as confident, as self-assured, as someone who knows where they're going, they know who they are, they know what they want. There could be like a natural leadership vibe about this person where people will naturally sort of defer to them or kind of like look up to them to take the lead in situations. They might think of this person as someone having a royal or regal background, or they have something about them that is just dignified and yeah, I don't know, like that's someone who just seems like they're coming from good breeding in a way. They could be something, yeah, there could be something physically about them that makes them look very, I don't know, dignified. You know, what I can't think of an example of a man who looks like that right now, but a woman, I mean, would be Princess Diana, I guess, but she was literally a princess. Although she wasn't born one, so I think it counts. But someone like that, I don't know, like just someone that people will naturally kind of see as coming from a good background, good breeding, you know, they probably look at this person and think, yeah, this person comes from a good family, stuff like that. They have good pedigree. um, Aside from that, yeah, Uttara Falguni again, very stubborn. It is ruled by the cow, so the bull. So Uttara Falguni are notoriously stubborn. So are Kritikas, right? Because both of them are ruled by the sun, not a coincidence, and both of them kind of have a low-key association to the bull, the cow. Kritika, it's because it falls in Taurus. With Uttara Falguni, it's because that's the yoni animal associated. But anyway, yeah, this person is self-motivated. They could be very creative. They naturally attract attention. They can stand out in a crowd because of that sun energy. With respect to whether they feel comfortable being in the center stage, in the limelight, debatable. Again, more would have to be seen in particular situations. This could also be a person who's maybe very shy, but they just naturally stand out. Or they could be a person who loves it, you know, loves to be in the limelight. Danishta is definitely someone who's very ambitious. That explains a lot. And also, Danishta shows that this person is above average attractive. Their body in particular can be very attractive. Like a lot of people will find them desirable. They could also be someone who is very much into fitness, likes to stay physically fit. They probably have a good muscle mass, you know. And again, irrespective of gender, usually with Danishta, they like to really take care of their bodies. They also just feel the urge to exercise a lot. You might see that these people are the types that get into defense classes and combat and karate and all this stuff. They also might like music that is like military music, you know, like drums, that stuff that has a lot of drums in it. You know, like, yeah, they might actually be in the military with Kritika and Danishta, or there could be some connection to the military. Maybe they've gone through military training. Maybe they like weapons. Kritika in particular. Oh my god, I just realized Kritika is a very strong confirmation of that second house, you know? Okay, I just laughed and like blew everything over. Thank god it didn't fall into the fire. Speaking of Kritika, which by the way is called the Star of Fire, it would have been appropriate. Yeah, so oh my god, this reading is gonna go on forever and ever. I did not expect it to be this long. Anyway, where was I? So yeah, Kritika, this is a very strong confirmation of that second house because Kritika is connected to food. Yeah, I literally just recently posted something on my astrology community page. So if you're curious, go ahead and check it out. I cracked this joke about Kritika and food. Anyway, yeah, but Kritika is very much known to be naturally good at cooking. They might really like to eat. They might be very particular about their diets as well, but there's something about eating with them, you know. They know how to use fire, so they might be interested in barbecuing and stuff. But irrespective of cooking, they might also like stuff that implies fire. Like, this is definitely more specific, but they could be into, I don't know, welding or just anything that involves fire. I don't know, glass blowing or something. Kritika is also connected to the butcher caste, so this person could literally be a butcher. I know, very specific, but yeah, and they can be very blunt and very critical as well. So Kritika is known to have a sharp tongue. And they, especially like I said, with men who have prominent Kritika tend to be very attractive in the eyes of women because they really exude this very masculine energy that, you know, makes them look like a protector and provider type, even though whether they are or not is debatable. David Harbour has a prominent Kritika placement. I actually also mentioned him in another video where I talked about Kritika and infidelity on my channel, Astro Martine, which I will be linking in the video description. And also, yeah, this person, especially if this is a man, this is, again, irrespective, but especially if they're a man, they have a strong body build, you know, like they probably have broad shoulders, a broad body frame. With height, it could be all over the place because we have Mercury, Saturn, and Jupiter. Although I would say that it would tend towards above average height for most, because Jupiter and Saturn are pretty tall usually when it comes to physical appearance. I think for the most part, even though this person could go, again, with respect to weight, they could either have a weight that fluctuates or it could be all over the place, you know, like all across the board. Some of them could be slim, some of them could be chunky. But what I can tell you is, irrespective of their weight, this is the kind of person that a lot of people find attractive. All right. And also with Pushya, there's a very nurturing side because of that moon energy. And Pushya, again, shows up pretty strongly in the horoscopes of people who are into social service, social work, you know, charity, stuff like that, you know. So people who really want to be of service, who want to help people. So they could be someone who's like that, maybe gives money to charity, maybe there's someone who just is concerned for the greater good, for social welfare, for stuff like that. Maybe they're involved in social causes. That's another one. They could also really like to dance. They could be good at dancing with the Nishta. And with Hasta, again, this person can be very creative, very imaginative. They probably have nice hands. They could really use their hands a lot when they talk. They can use their hands to communicate through gestures, and they could be interested in magicians and magic tricks. You literally have the magician, I realized, right underneath. The magician does not literally always lead to magicians, but in this case, Hasta tends to be connected to magic and magic tricks because it's anything to do with the hands, right? So this person's hands could stand out. You could like their hands. Maybe they're also someone who works a lot with their hands. I mean, in today's world, that could be typing a lot. I don't know, anything from being a programmer to a surgeon. This could be also someone who plays an instrument, for instance, right? Or they could really like a lot of handiwork as a hobby, right? Also with the Mercury, which also rules the hands and the arms and everything. And also Mercury, again, is a confirmation that for some of you, you could meet this person online because Mercury, again, is about oral communication. Let me see what else. Libra, I have to say, this person probably comes across as pretty socially charming when they want to. Maybe, of course, they could also have placements in any of these signs. Yeah, they could be socially charming. Again, this makes me think that this is the kind of person that a lot of people would like to date because Libra is the sign that corresponds to the 7th house, which is the house of the spouse in the natal chart. So yeah, and I also feel like this is, again, a situation of opposites attract with respect to you and this person. I really feel like they're really different than you. And yeah, this is pretty much what I have to say. Pile number 1. I hope you have enjoyed this reading. Loads of confirmations, loads of messages. this. I hope you will be patient to listen to it all the way through. And if you have, thank you for being here. I also want to mention, don't forget to subscribe if you like the video. Check the click on the notifications bell if you want to be notified when I will upload a new video. Comment in the comment section. If you're interested in becoming a member, check out the details that I will leave in the video description. You can also click on the join button and see details about memberships over there. I have kind of neglected that section, but I will start to post more in the near future. And also, if you're interested in a private tarot reading, check out the video description. You can email me at the email address that I will leave there. I've also left a link in the video description to reviews I've gotten before for private readings. So if you want to check them out, go ahead. Might help you decide if you want to get one. Aside from that, I also have an astrology channel, like I mentioned. It's called Astro Martine, but I will leave a link in the video description as well in case you don't find it. I focus mainly on Vedic astrology, but also with some tropical insights, and I do a lot of my own research as well. I've been into astrology right now for more than 20 years. I am 36 right now, and soon to be 37 actually this year. And I have been into astrology since I was 11 actually. And for the first decade or so, I was heavily into tropical, and I learned everything about tropical, but later switched to Vedic because I found it to be way more insightful. Over the years, I've also gotten into other astrological systems like Batsa, Ziwei Doshu from Chinese astrology systems, the Mayan zodiac, numerology, and a bunch of other systems. And I use all of my insights basically to do research in astrology. Yeah, and I have posted tons of videos on my channel, which has actually been up for close to 10 years now. In April, it will be 10 years since I started that channel. So yeah, if you're curious about astrology, want to learn more about it, go ahead and check it out. It's called Astro Martine. Maybe subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And of course, if you would like to support my channel further, you can do so by leaving a tip. Any amount is very much welcome. And of course, share this video with anyone that you know that might be interested in tarot readings. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope to see you at my next tarot reading. Bye! Welcome, pile number 2. This is your reading if you have chosen this kunzite crystal and or this 7 of Cups card. This is going to be the card selection phase, and I'm going to add timestamps if you don't want to sit through this because I will be taking my time. I am recording this like 1 or 2 days later because, yeah, the first one was so long and I didn't have time. So you may notice that the flowers are missing and stuff. I hope that doesn't bother you. I trust that you are here mainly for the message, not the decorum. But yeah, anyway, so let's start. Spirit, tell me about pile number 2. Who is coming towards them in love? Who is coming towards pile number 2 in love, Spirit? We have the Death. We have 8 of Swords. We have King of Swords. We have 4 of Wands. Yeah, this one was first. Yeah. The Moon. We have Justice. Spirit, tell me about pile number 2. Who's coming towards them in love? All right. Oh, wow. We have the Justice again. This is interesting. All right, so we have 6 of Pentacles, we have the 5 of Swords, we have the Temperance, we have the Justice here, we have the 5 of Wands, and we have the 3 of Cups. All right, let's use some Oracle cards. Spirit, tell me about pile number 2. Who's coming towards them in love? Kindred Spirits. I was going to say that 3 of Cups is about reunion, but I was going to hold that thought. Harmony. We already have recurring themes. Let's see. Spirit, tell me about pile number 2. Ooh, who's coming towards them in love, Spirit? Dog. Companionship. You know, I've never, holy shit. I'm sorry. My mind is getting like so many insights at the same time that it's hard to articulate. But the first thing that I thought when I drew this card, aside from the fact that I've never actually seen this card before. I don't think so. I've never pulled it in a reading. But the second thing after that I was thinking is K2. Holy shit, like K2 is so strong here in this reading. Because K2 rules dogs, and in particular, it's associated to black dogs. I don't remember exactly where this came from, but it's a thing in traditional Vedic astrology. And you already have multiple K2 symbolisms here. Kindred spirits, which is about past lives. Three of Cups, which is about a reunion, a meeting. Death, which is associated to Scorpio energy, which is the only sign that is co-ruled by K2 in Vedic astrology. So for those of you who don't know, K2 is the south node of the moon, and it connects to intuition, past life, reincarnation, everything that has to do with the past lives and your comfort zone and what you know from past lives. So my guess right off the top, of my head about this person is that this could be someone from, like, when I first saw the Three of Cups, I was thinking maybe this is someone from your past, like someone you've already, not necessarily someone you have had a relationship with, but someone you already met. Or if that's not the case, again, there's some strong past life connection, like someone that you are meant to meet in this lifetime, someone that you're probably going to have a very strong feeling of recognition when you meet this person for the first time, either when you see them or when they see you, or when you see each other. There might be like some instant connection or something happening. But yeah, I had to arrange the camera a little bit. So let me start with the beginning though. You also have the Justice coming out twice here. So this person could also be someone who has strong Libra placements or strong 7th house placements. This could be even someone who is involved in contracts, negotiations, a lot of one-to-one communication. But again, and oh my god, we have the scales 3 times actually in symbols, because we also have the 6 of Pentacles with a scale on it. So yeah. Anyway, so the Death with the 6 of Pentacles, okay, and we also have the 7 of Cups at the beginning, which is like the original card that came out for this person. Yeah, so the Death with the 6 of Pentacles. So this shows me that at this moment, this person is going through some kind of a transformation, because the Death is about a transformation. They could be going through some kind of a glow up, maybe in recent past. Okay, so this could be like an ongoing process, or it is something that either started recently, ended recently, or is about to start in the near future. So this is like their current energy at the moment when you come across this reading. This person is, in a process of transformation. So since we have, oh my god, I was going to say this, but I'm definitely going to say it now, because I definitely see it here. 4 of Wands and the Justice in the past, y'all. So this person, I think for many of you, is someone who's divorced. Someone who is divorced, or someone who is... someone who has ended a serious relationship in recent history. I think so. May not be like recent history as in last week, but yeah, recent history. I don't know. Give her like, or could be in the process of a divorce right now with the Death as well, because yeah, the Death is transformation. But yeah, when I first saw the 4 of Wands here in the 4th position, my immediate thought was divorce. And now that we have the Justice underneath, which actually brings the heightened emphasis on contracts, legal contracts, right? As a clarification for the 4 of Wands, yeah. I mean, either that, or it could be someone who is married, all right? In which case, you probably are not going to like them very much if they're recently married and approaching you. But I really think for most of you, that's not the case. I think they're someone who is divorced, yeah. So anyway, they're going through a process of transformation. With the 6 of Pentacles, this is about service. You know, this is about being of service, about helping others. It's also connected to teaching. So this person, I think, is trying to become a better person. I know it sounds very cliche, but this is how I would read it. So they're trying to be more generous, more giving. Maybe they are going through some kind of, what was I going to say? A psychological thing, like a self-improvement thing. They're trying to rethink the way that they have done things in the past. Yeah, they want to understand themselves better, and they want to become like a better person, as in healthier, more useful to other people, more focused on helping others and all that stuff with the Six of Pentacles. In a very literal sense, this could also be someone that is into teaching or some kind of social work, and they're in some process of transformation connected to that. So maybe they're working on getting a teaching degree, a certificate, yeah, or they're involved in social work, they're working with charities or something like that. Yeah, that could be a thing. Someone who is changing their opinions about charities or something, or they're getting more involved in with charities. Okay, then we have the Eight of Swords and the Five of Swords. This one is very interesting because these energies, even though they're both swords, they're kind of dichotomous in a way. I have to say before I go forward, like as soon as whenever I get this crystal, when I feel drawn to it, I always think about this as the back of the Iron Throne from Game of Thrones. From Game of Thrones, you know, like this is what it reminds me of with these spikes. I think this is what it reminded me of from the moment that I selected it, and on some level that drew me to it. You know, it kind of looks like the back of that chair. And whenever I get this one, I always get like this harsh metallic energy associated to the person that is described by this crystal, you know, like Aquarius, a lot of air energy, you know, maybe Aquarius, Libra. Yeah, so I'm feeling the same thing with this person. Oh my god, I just realized we have the King of Swords as well. Holy moly. I did not even realize that the King of Swords was there as I was saying this. Like, yeah, this is such a strong confirmation. Insane. Such strong swords energy with this person. Aquarius, yeah. King of Swords, Queen of Swords, that's always Aquarius energy in my book, as far as I've seen it. And oftentimes I get that confirmed through the astrological messages, but I'm going to see more as I go along. But anyway, the Eight of Swords is about following your intuition, right? And the Five of Swords is actually about consciousness, like the conscious mind and conscious thought, you know? So what it seems to me is that this person is trying to understand their subconscious, trying to understand their blind spots, trying to escape the prison of their own mind. And I know that sounds very pretentious, but this is kind of what I see it like. They're trying to make sense of themselves. Maybe they have recently noticed that they have repeated the same patterns over and over. Like they were stuck in negative behaviors, negative beliefs. The Eight of Swords is very much about being imprisoned by your own thoughts and beliefs, you know? It's about not following intuition when you should and following intuition when you shouldn't to some extent. So kind of like finding a balance between when you should be intuitive and when you should be rational. Or rather, if you want to look at it like this, as you know, the battle between the conscious and the subconscious mind, which actually is further emphasized here with the moon in action. The moon in the traditional Rider-Waite deck is symbolized by the dog and the wolf. Oh my god, the dog, I just realized. I also wonder if this person has placements in Ardra or Mula. Mula would make a lot more sense because Mula is also ruled by Ketu, but even Ardra would make sense, you know. From nakshatras or lunar mansions, I mean, this is what they are. Mula and Ardra, I mean. Anyway, but yeah, this person is trying to make sense of their subconscious mind. Maybe there's someone who's going to therapy right now, you know, they're trying to understand themselves, or they're learning something spiritual on the spiritual path or something, you know, reading books on spirituality and going within and all that stuff. I also think that with the Five of Swords, though, this is someone who is very cautious mentally and emotionally because they have recently gotten burned, you know. And yeah, considering that the Four of Wands is in past, okay, even if this is not literally a divorce or an ending of a serious relationship, it definitely shows that the happiness is in the past for this person, you know? So, like, whatever they're going through right now is a rougher time than the past, right? Because the Four of Wands this kind of looks to me like a fall from grace somehow. Like, this person has lost something, they're hurt about something. And the Five of Swords is about a feeling of defeat as well as rational thought, you know? So it makes me think of someone who is very careful mentally to not believe in things that are not real. Like they give me the feeling of someone who is extremely cautious not to get their hopes up about stuff, you know, because they have recently gone through some heartbreak and they don't want to risk losing whatever mental sanity they have left and whatever self-esteem they have left, you know what I mean? And so they're being very, very rational about everything. But at the same time, they're also interested in understanding themselves and maybe pick up some subconscious patterns and become better as a person overall. Then we have the King of Swords and the Temperance. Yeah, especially in this context, in the context of this question, this is definitely showing me that what is potentially going to cause delays in this connection is that this person is hyper rational, all right? King of Swords is very cerebral energy, very cold-blooded, sort of like someone who is in their head, doesn't trust emotions, and this attitude is keeping them from pursuing you. So obviously the question is who's coming towards you in love. So this person will come towards you, but with the King of Swords and the Temperance there, it might take a while, all right? The Temperance is, well, like the name suggests, this is someone who is not exactly driven by passions. And I think it definitely has something to do with that Four of Wands in the past, someone who has gotten burned in the past. This could also be, by the way, with Four of Wands, it could have been legal troubles of any kind with the Justice underneath as well. Or it could have been a karmic thing with the Justice, so maybe this is not necessarily someone who has gotten divorced or something, but this is someone who maybe has some family drama, like maybe they grew up in a very abusive family background, because the Four of Wands can also be connected to the fourth house, which is the home base, the early childhood up until high school graduation, and it's furthermore reinforced with that moon energy as well. So like there could also be some mother issues with this person, I have to say, with the moon coming through prominently, or something in the past. Either way, both the moon and the fourth house are connected to the past as well, because of Cancer being connected to origins and patriotism and the home base, etc., right? But anyway, yeah. And also, of course, it could be both of those things at the same time. They could be someone who has gotten a divorce and also has childhood traumas, and maybe having gone through something painful, like a painful breakup, has just gotten them to realize that they need to work on healing past traumas to not repeat the same cycles, But I definitely see this as being very much on their mind, at the current time. So something they're consciously working towards. And yeah, with the Temperance, this is definitely someone who is, gonna take their sweet time. Someone who is pondering a lot of pros and cons, and I would definitely not be surprised to see that this person has Libra placements, because I see a lot of like back and forth, and even with the Temperance, right? There's this energy of kind of balancing things, balancing the pros and cons. I don't remember what the Temperance looked like exactly on the Rider-Waite, but as far as I remember, it was about her holding two things or juggling two things. And here she's holding two things too. She's like pouring from one cup to another. So it shows this, someone who wants to be even, right? Someone who wants to not make waves. Someone who wants things to be nice and easy and rational and takes things step by step, definitely goes in line with someone who has gotten burned recently, doesn't want to throw themselves headfirst into anything without carefully reading the fine print on everything. So yeah, I've already gone through what the Four of Wands and the Justice means, right? The past, that this person has gone through some stuff, could be a divorce, could be childhood trauma, could be both. But their happiness right now is in the past, okay? So like this is someone who is probably, I don't know, licking their wounds about something, you know, or thinking about the good old days. I'm getting that song in my head of like, those were the days, my friend, we thought they never end. We'd sing and dance forever and a day. I don't know who sang it, but it's like old, and I'm pretty sure you could find it if you look for some of the lyrics. But yeah, this is like someone who has a little bit of nostalgia for the good old. I don't know if they have nostalgia actually, considering the death and everything. I think they are moving on, but you know, it's like the wounds are still fresh. So anyway, the moon and the Five of Wands here. Now this one is really fascinating, especially considering the context of this question. See, the Five of Wands here and the Temperance already gave me a vibe that this person could be from a different background than you. I'm going to clarify this one. Hold on. Please clarify the Five of Wands, Spirit. All right. Oh my God. We have the Eight of Swords again. Holy shit. Okay, so this is not about... Yeah, it's not... Oh my gosh. Hold on. Please clarify the moon as well. No way. No. Like, no way. So, like, Spirit is like, bitch, I already clarified it. I said it. It's Five of Wands. That's all the clarification you're gonna get. I said my piece. So, like, Spirit has clarified the Five of Wands through Five of Wands. Well, basically, this one is kind of meant as a clarification for the original card, right? So, Spirit is like, yes, I already clarified it. It's Five of Wands. Here it is again. And then we have the Eight of Swords. So, what is my deal here? How would I interpret this? Okay, so Five of Wands is inner conflict, number one. This person could be from a very different background. And I think that whatever difference in background there is between the two of you is something that is, again, probably at least part of the reason why there will be a delay, you know, because either they may not even know how to approach you, or it could be all kinds of differences, like how would this work out? Like, I don't know, maybe this person is far away from you in a different city, in a different country, or maybe they just live in a totally different world. Maybe they operate in a different universe and they're thinking, well, how is this going to work with this person? You know, how am I going to adapt to them? How are they going to adapt to me? I don't think this is going to work. You know, there's a lot of back and forth, I have to say. And the Eight of Swords coming out as a clarification here is showing that this person is ultimately going to choose to follow their heart. Eight of Swords is a card that basically shows the way out is to follow your gut. You know, it's about following emotions and intuition. So I really feel, again, this is going beautifully hand in hand. It's going hand in hand with these cards, with the Kindred Spirit, the dog, and that K2 energy that I was picking up beautifully. Because I really think that this person, despite obstacles, okay, and despite the fact that, see, with the moon here, leading with the moon, this person is very intuitive, okay? They're very intuitive, and they're very emotional as well. So this is someone who's quite, you know, they're going to approach you, like, quietly, you know, very quietly, but at the same time dealing with a lot of inner conflict. And also at the same time, after a lot of back and forth in their heads about this connection, they're finally going to be overwhelmed by this feeling that there's something here between the two of you. And I really think it's because there's some kind of a past life thing happening. You know, like this person is going to recognize you, you're going to recognize them. And it really boils down. I'm very curious to see if maybe we're going to get some more K2 in the astrological configurations, because that would definitely make a lot of sense with these cards. I'm trying to fix that. Okay. So, yeah. And look at this. Justice and the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups, like I said, this is a reunion. So this is the outcome of this person coming towards you. Justice and the Three of Cups. Justice can mean marriage. okay? Or it can be some kind of a contract. But whatever it means, irrespective of whether that it refers to marriage, justice is about someone who, like the name suggests, is very fair. So this is a person who is going to want an equal relationship, someone who wants someone who's equally invested, you know, someone who is willing to do their part if the other person is willing to do their part, someone who's going to be serious about this connection. And the Three of Cups is very much about a reunion. Okay? Let me see if I can get some more clarification. See what comes up. Spirit, please clarify the justice for me. Here. Queen of Swords. Okay. So you're going to be the Queen of Swords to their King of Swords. Please clarify the Queen of Swords as well. I just went... Okay. This one. Seven of Swords. All right. Please clarify the Three of Cups. Six of Swords. Okay, that makes sense. So, yeah, this... Can I just say... Man, so much air energy with this person. Like, they're very, very rational. You know what I'm also thinking? If you're familiar with the Chinese astrology, I think this person has a lot of metal in their Batsa chart. If you're familiar with that. Yeah, because I see, whenever I think of Queen of Swords, King of Swords, and air energy in general, it's also kind of like resonating with the Chinese element of metal. So I think this is someone who is very kind of rational and no nonsense on a regular basis. But with the Queen of Swords and the Seven of Swords, I feel like the person, and not just the person, but actually this connection overall, is going to lead to something that is very fair, very rational. Also a moving away from troubles and trials and tribulations, and from rougher waters. You know, Six of Swords means like moving to a better future. And this is for both of you. So, yeah, but I feel it's really weird to me to some extent. Or maybe not, now that I think about it. But I think considering the fact that this person is a very rational person, it makes sense. Because I think this is the kind of person that they don't really trust their feelings. Or maybe they don't trust their feelings anymore. And so I think they're really looking for a very strong intellectual compatibility. And they want to have that sense of security of like, this is someone sane, someone that I can trust, you know? And so what I see here is a very determined connection. It's like both of you are going to get together and you're just going to know like, oh yeah, this is the person, you know? Like it's going to be like a sealed deal somehow. Even it's like, not in a bad way, but it's almost going to be like it in the sense where you almost cannot imagine any other person. You know, either they will feel like that about you or you feel that way, or ideally both of you will feel that way about each other, you know, like, oh yeah, this is my person, yeah. You know, and it's going to be like, despite any attraction that might be going on at the same time, the decision to come together and to stay together is going to be like surprisingly calm and rational. You know, like, oh, thank God, like with a sigh of relief, you know. And also, look at this kindred spirits and companionship and dog. Yeah, I mean, it really looks like you're going to find a soulmate, you know, someone who is very much like you in some ways and still different enough to make it exciting. And also, both the dog and the justice energy and everything says a lot about, and look at this harmony as well. This is like a happy Four of Wands, you know? So I really feel like this is someone who's very loyal, very reliable, very no nonsense. So yeah, this is what I'm getting. Let me see what the Astro cards have to say. Very curious. Pile number 2. Let's see. Spirit, tell me about pile number 2. Who is coming towards them in love? Wow, we have Sun. 4th house, Aquarius. Ooh. We have opposition, tension, and opposites. Whenever I get this card, I always take it as a confirmation for Libra as well, because Libra is the sign of the 7th house. So technically, it is kind of the sign of opposition because it's opposite the ascendant, the house of the self. We have Sun. So maybe this person has Sun energy. You know, this could be someone who's very confident, could be outgoing, maybe someone who has a good social status as well. Fourth house, home and family. So this is that Four of Wands energy again. Yeah, I feel like this person is also very family oriented. They also have a strong moon energy at the same time. And we have Aquarius, the visionary. Yes, I think we have settled it because hello, the Queen of Swords, the King of Swords, so many swords, definitely some air, strong air energy, and conjunction, fusion, and energy. So I think that this is a person that, I mean, look at how beautifully this is going from opposition to conjunction. It's like, you know, two become one, you know what I mean? So I really think that this is someone that will be very different, but at the same time, you will somehow really complete each other. And I know this is gonna sound like, well, maybe no, it's not gonna sound anything in any particularly weird way. I think, considering that this is a tarot reading, so you have to believe in woo-woo stuff. But I think that this could be someone that, for instance, maybe you have a lot of in synastry, you know, like maybe in between your two charts you have challenging aspects, but in the composite you have a lot of conjunctions. Or you could have both conjunctions and oppositions, you know, going on in synastry. So yeah, this is what it makes me think of. Yeah, but definitely this is a person who's very rational, very independent, unconventional, and they might come across as aloof as well. So like they might come across as really unemotional on the surface, at least. Can't say if they are more, I mean, considering the moon and everything, I think this person has a tender-hearted side, especially with the Seven of Cups in the beginning as well. But with all of this air energy, this again could be because they were burned very badly in the past. Or it could just be their nature to hide their emotions, you know. But I think on the surface, they probably come across as pretty cold even. Yeah. But with the sun, there's also something like generous, magnanimous about them. The sun also kind of mirrors that Six of Pentacles in the beginning. Also, it's about, you know, staying true to yourself. It's about the soul's ultimate destiny in this lifetime. The sun is like the original Atmakaraka, which is in Vedic astrology the reason why you incarnate, basically. It's called the original Atmakaraka because to some extent everyone's sun points to at least part of the reason why they incarnate. But in addition to the sun, people also have like a personal Atmakaraka, which may or may not be the sun depending on their individual natal charts. By the way, I also have an astrology channel called Astro Martine. I feel like I should drop it right now. I should drop that information right now. So if you're curious, yeah, go ahead and check out the link in the video description. But the bottom line is with sun energy, of course, this person could also have like strong Leo energy. This person could also be really creative. Maybe they're even involved in a creative activity like profession, but not necessarily. With the sun energy, they could in some way, I know this is gonna sound weird, but they could in some way remind you of your father, or they could be someone who is a father, or they could be someone who, I was going to say some other thing about the sun. Something about fatherhood, because the sun is the father archetype among other things, right? Or, yeah, someone who looks like they could be a good father. That's another one. And another thing is with the sun, they have a natural way of standing out in a crowd. So irrespective of whether they, irrespective of what they look like, basically, or whether they try to stand out, they will just naturally attract attention. They could also, when it comes to physical appearance, they could have a broad body, a strong jawline. Now, within the limits of genetic inheritance, of course, they might also tend towards a lighter complexion with the sun. Aquarius, since it is co-ruled by Rahu, also can hint towards a difference in background. Fourth house can also mean that you have met this person through your family of origin or their family of origin. You could have met this person, or could meet, or could have met, depending, you know, not saying that everyone has already met this person, but you could meet this person, you know, through real estate, anything connected to real estate, like at a hotel, at a restaurant, while looking for a rental property, while looking to buy a property, etc. Taking a course in real estate stuff, I don't know, something like anything connected to real estate or interior decoration or, you know, home bases. Like feng shui courses, anything like that. You could have met this person that way. You could also meet this person in anything connected to vehicles, like car dealerships, getting your driver's license, etc. Could be a bunch of stuff. And let's not forget the fact that I did also mention that for some of you, this could be a person you've already met or have already seen in the past. Fourth house is also education up until high school level. So this could be someone that you have seen in the first part of your life. Like maybe you met them in high school or before that when you were kids, but you lost touch after a while, you know, something like that could happen. Fourth house, last but not least, is also connected to the home base. So the way that I read this is it could show meeting someone online for the first time, because the fourth house, yeah, in today's world, it can mean the online environment. Like you were literally at home and just, you know, on social media, and this is how you met this person or whatever. Yeah, this is pretty much what I have here from the card. So let me get the Astro dice. So Spirit, tell me about pile number 2, who is coming towards them in love. Let's see, what do we have here? Number 11, which came out on the Justice twice. And number 11 is connected to Aquarius as well, because 11th house, the 11th sign is Aquarius, okay? Did I just accidentally switch that dice? I hope not. No, I don't think so. So we have Capricorn here, so there's some Saturn energy, and we have Pluto. Pluto. Okay. So Pluto is the co-ruler of Scorpio, so I would see that as a confirmation of the death energy. This person could be intense as well, so maybe there's something like brooding and intense and secretive about their aura as well. Secretive, mysterious. Okay, let me get some more astro notes. Let's see. Spirit, what can you tell me about pile number 2? Who's coming towards them in love? Who is coming towards them in love? Okay. There's a lot of stuff in here, but this is a general reading. We have Mercury, okay. So this is a further confirmation that for some of you, you could meet this person online. Oh, wow. Big confirmation. K2, yes, there it is, the past life. You could also have, like, here we have more Saturn here. Okay, Saturn, because Capricorn came out as well. So there could be an age difference between the two of you as well. With Saturn, usually there's an age difference of 7+ years in either direction. Okay, so yeah, past life connections with K2. Gemini came through, so there's more Mercury there. So this person could be someone who's very curious and talkative. The moon, so strong confirmation again because it came through twice. Aries, okay. So this person can be very assertive as well. Leo, very strong confirmation because Leo is ruled by the sun, and we already had the sun coming out. So repeated themes. Mars, okay, so this person can have a strong Mars, and Mars is also the other ruler of Scorpio, let's not forget that. And we have Pisces, okay, so maybe that's that 7 of Cups and that moon energy, so this person has a soft romantic side after all. Mrigashira falling in Taurus and Gemini, ruled by Mars. Bravati falling in Pisces, ruled by Mercury. Purva Bhadrapada falling in Aquarius and Pisces, ruled by Jupiter. Rohini falling in Taurus, ruled by the moon. Oh, wow. Look at this confirmation. I cannot. I did mention Mula, did I not? Okay. Mula, Sagittarius. Falling in Sagittarius, ruled by Ketu. Also associated to the dog or the wolf. Kritika falling in Taurus, ruled by the sun. Okay, so let me break down the other energies that I can see about this person. So with the Saturn energy, Saturn and Mercury are kind of dichotomous energies. Actually, Saturn and the sun are opposite energies, so that's interesting. Well, it's actually very much in line with this opposition now that I think about it. So you have Aquarius coming through as a sign, and you also have Leo coming through very strongly, And Aquarius is ruled by Saturn and Rahu. Okay, so this could be a person who has dichotomous energies, or it could be that you are more prominently an Aquarian archetype and they're more prominently a Leo archetype, or the other way around. Or maybe both of you have placements in Leo and Aquarius, you know. But somehow maybe Leo Aquarius can be important in your horoscope, and so can Cancer and Capricorn, because those two came out as well. So Saturn also rules Capricorn and the moon rules Cancer, and those are also opposites, okay? And I would have expected some Libra coming through, but apparently it didn't. But yeah, it's probably coming, you know, they probably still have some Libran energies about them, because of that scale coming out twice. But where was I? Yeah, Mercury and Saturn, okay? So they're kind of different in the sense that Mercury is youthfulness and curiosity, and it represents the archetype of the young person up until early teens. And Saturn, conversely, is the old person, you know, someone who is like an old, wise person who has learned through experience. And they're also kind of bitter and pessimistic, you know, as an archetype. So, also very serious, hardworking, you know, no nonsense, that sort of thing. So I think this person somehow embodies both of these archetypes. So maybe they could be someone who is quite young, but they're very mature for their age, or they could be someone who looks much younger than their age. Conversely, you know, they could be quite mature, but maybe they look much younger. Or they could be someone who is quite mature in age, but they also have a very youthful energy, very mercurial. You know, they may like to joke around a lot. They could have like this very light, youthful sort of energy about them, maybe even a little bit childlike sometimes, especially with that sun coming through as well, because sun is also connected to children, you know. So yeah, this person, I think, really cares about society as well, society at large, because of that 11 number coming through, you know, and Aquarius and the number 11 coming through multiple times. So this is definitely a person who is focused on spiritual development, you know. And also Aquarius in Vedic astrology is considered to be the most spiritual sign of the zodiac, not Pisces, because of a concept called Bhavad Bhavam, which is like which makes Aquarius the 12th from the 12th sign. So whenever a sign is like that number, its number away from itself, that is like a higher developed side. It's a higher, more developed version of that sign. So like, same thing with, for instance, Libra being the 10th from the 10th, you know. So somehow Libra also connects to career and social status and stuff like that, right? Because of this Bhavad Bhavam concept. The same thing applies to Aquarius being the 12th from the 12th. The 12th being Pisces, right? So Aquarius in Vedic is even more spiritual than Pisces. So this person is definitely focused on spirituality, and because Aquarius is very non-conforming, they could also come across as pretty weird. And if that were not enough, we also have Ketu, which is again very much connected to spirituality, everything woo-woo. They could also be interested in tarot, astrology, and all this stuff. Even more so with Purva Bhadrapada coming through, which is connected to a deity called Aja Ekapad, which is something connected to black magic and stuff. Again, I have a video where I talk about Purva Bhadrapada in depth, as well as other nakshatras on my astrology channel if you're curious. But anyway, Purva Bhadrapada is very much connected to mysticism, black magic, you know, tarot, astrology, anything that is occult, basically. So this person can be very curious about these things, you know. With Purva Bhadrapada, there's also a possibility of someone who is, in a way, two-faced, but not necessarily in a very negative way. They could just be someone who has a whole side of them that nobody knows about, you know, that they keep hidden very well, maybe just to avoid stares and complications. Doesn't have to be something creepy necessarily. With Purva Bhadrapada, this person could also have an intensity about them, so that explains the death coming through as well. And actually, Purva Bhadrapada is actually associated to death. It actually is symbolized by the front part of a funeral card, and it's very much connected to death in itself and all kinds of stuff that are demons and woo-woo, you know. And a lot of people that actually work in stuff connected to death can have placements in Purva Bhadrapada, as far as I've known, or Bharani, actually, as far as I've seen. So yeah, this person could have something a bit dark, a bit mysterious, but also Purva Bhajapara is also kind of a dark, sexy sort of energy. So I think this person is definitely above average attractive. Even more so with Rohini, Kritika coming through as well, and Mrigashira and Mula to some extent. Mula, which is connected to the root, actually is a nakshatra that is known to have a lot of sexual energy. And it's not necessarily going to be the case, again, that this person is going to be some kind of, you know, sex addict or something. But this person and this energy, okay, in particular, can go through phases when they're very sexual, but then they turn way more spiritual. You know, as they get older, they turn more and more towards spirituality and, you know, helping other people. And they're also very focused on getting to the bottom of things. So they're very interested in things like research, and they're naturally good at, you know, just digging for stuff. And they're also someone, you know, a lot of the times Mula is connected to psychology, actually. It's also connected to genealogy, like is that the way to call genealogy? Yeah, like genetics, you know, things like bloodlines and understanding the past and transgenerational traumas and all that stuff. That's very Mula. They could also have a sense of adventure. So, oh my god, it's very, very well illustrated by this card over here with dog. Like, this woman is in nature. I think, no, is this a woman or a man? I don't know. Could be a man, actually. You know, but in nature somewhere, you know, this is very Mula here with a dog, hiking, you know, hiking and hunting. So yeah, this person could be also, by the way, with Sagittarius, you know, they could be someone who's into nature, especially since we also have Mars energy here. So this Mars in Aries also shows that this person can be blunt, also with Kritika, even more so. So they could be blunt in expressing themselves. They could sometimes even be borderline rude, really, or just be rude without realizing. They will definitely have a tendency to be honest, though, with the Kritika energy. And especially if this is a man, especially with the Kritika, this is probably the kind of man that a lot of women find attractive, you know. Even if this is a woman, very likely this is a woman who is above average attractive. But I think if this is a woman, she could have a significant amount of masculine energy, even with the moon coming through. So they will be like, irrespective of gender, they will be like a nice blend between masculine and feminine qualities, you know? Since the Mars and the moon coming through, and Mercury and Saturn, right? So this person could have conjunctions between these planets in their horoscope, and Ketu as well. So maybe they have a moon Ketu conjunction, moon Mercury, moon Mars, Saturn Mercury, Saturn Ketu, Saturn Mars, Mars moon, Mars, Mercury, Saturn, and Moon, etc. Take multiple combinations, right? So they could have conjunctions, or you could have conjunctions between these planets in your horoscope, especially since we had that conjunction card coming through. Or, of course, you could have conjunctions in between your two horoscopes, between these planets, or oppositions, because we also had the opposition card coming through. And yeah, with a lot of fire in this person's makeup, they're probably someone who has an element of restlessness about them. Also with Purva Bhajapara, maybe they like to stay active, on the move, you know, they have a sense of adventure. With Kritika, they could be interested in military stuff. They might have some connection to military or government work. They could be interested in weapons. They could just like anything to do with combat. Maybe they're doing karate. Maybe they're playing, I don't know, video games that are very combat oriented. All kinds of stuff, you know. They could be interested in anything that involves heat and fire, like, I don't know, being a glass blower or something. You know, dealing with weapons, cooking. Definitely Kritika can be very much connected to cooking and diets. So yeah. Also, this person can be quite dramatic if, you know, sometimes they can be dramatic. Doesn't mean that they're naturally dramatic, but they have a flair for it. Also with Revati and Rohini, this person could have very attractive eyes. Their eyes could really stand out, you know. They could have eyes that are quite wide set in some ways, but definitely someone who is above average attractive, like I said. Rohini also shows this very kind of artistic, sensitive, and a bit of a little princess sort of energy. So even if this is a man with Rohini placements, they probably like to get compliments. They like to feel admired for their appearance. Yeah. So, and they also probably have an interest in art, you know. And with Mrigashira and Mula, actually both of these show that this person has a very sharp intuition. They have very good instinct. So Mrigashira also has this tendency towards detective work, you know, like they like detective stories and again, research and getting down to the bottom of things, almost the same as Mula, but in a different way. This person could also feel drawn to forests and nature because of these symbolisms. They could also definitely like to travel a lot. Maybe this is even someone who travels a lot for their work because of the Revati placement. And they're probably someone who's quite lucky. Like, it could just seem that, you know, at times they just land on their feet because they're at the right place at the right time. So Revati is about the luck of timing, for instance, right? So opportunities could have just landed on their lap, you know, with the minimum amounts of effort when they needed them. And they could also really like animals, you know, or animals are drawn to them with the Mrigashira energy. We also have this dog stuff. So maybe this person likes dogs. Maybe they have dogs as companions, but not necessarily. I mean, with Purva Vajrapada, there can also be, you know, some interesting cats. But there is definitely a lot of Ketu and Mars, and that usually tends to show an interest in dogs, yeah. So, yeah, and also, I do think this person, for the most part, will have a tendency to be very loyal. Although with the Kritika, there is a potential towards having wandering eyes sometimes, you know? Yeah, I think I've seen this, so I have to look at, like, multiple interpretations because I'm reading for a lot of people. And with Kritika, you know, I did see that Seven of Swords clarifying the Queen of Swords. And on some level, I was thinking, like, remember when, way back when, at the beginning of the reading, I said that for some of you, this person could be someone who's married but still wants to get in touch with you. I'm not 100% excluding that, really. I don't think this is the case for most of you. Hopefully not. And of course, you're not obligated to accept anything that is, you know, just shady and not in accordance to what you need. But Kritika does have a tendency towards having wandering eyes and have, like, a very passionate nature. But considering the rest of this spread, I really think for most of you, this is not the case. I think this person is a pretty honest person, very down to earth, and they can be pretty intense. They can also be quite prideful at times. But I think with all this Ketu energy, with the rest of the cards that came through, I think this is someone who is going to be in it for the long run. And they're very serious. And yeah, like I said, I'm really getting this kindred spirits theme coming through very strongly with, like, this card that came through, you know. Okay, this is pretty much what I have for you, pile number 2. I hope you have enjoyed this reading. A lot of very strong repeated messages. Yes, it's like Spirit could smell the fact that I haven't done a reading for my channel in a very long time. Even though on a day-to-day basis, I do tarot readings for myself and a few other people that are close to me, but yeah, I haven't done a reading in a very long time for my channel, and Spirit has definitely delivered. Praise. Praise be. What can I say? I'm not a Wiccan or anything, but I like to say praise be. So anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this file number 2, and if you have, do not forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, click on the notifications bell to see when I will post a new video. Also, comment in the comment section with any feedback you would like to share, how this resonated, how it didn't resonate, what other topics you would like to see on my channel. Please mention them in the comment section. I've also mentioned this in the introduction. I do plan on still posting the predictions for 2026, hopefully within the next 2 weeks. But I'm really stressed because of exams right now. So, yeah, it's going to be a slow process. So, yeah, aside from that, of course, feel free to check out my membership section if you would like to join. And again, I will be posting more videos. I know I have neglected it, but I will be posting more videos on that within the next month. And Also, if you're interested, of course, in a private tarot reading, check out the video description. I have left my email address there. You can email me for a pricing list, reading options. I don't spam people. I always mention that. So if you're curious, you can drop me an email and I will just give you the information you ask for. If you're also curious to see the reviews, I have gotten some reviews I've gotten before for private readings. Check out the link that I will leave in the video description as well. With a blog post with reviews that I've gotten before a long time ago when I used to do readings anonymously on this site. Yeah, that might help you decide if you want to get a reading from me. Aside from that, I also have an astrology channel, as I mentioned before. It's called Astro Martine. I will be linking it in the video description as well. I focus mainly on Vedic astrology there, but also with some tropical insights. I have more than 20 years of experience reading horoscopes, more than 10 in Vedic, which is my preferred system right now. So I use the whole sign house system with the sidereal zodiac because I have found this to be the most accurate. However, I also do a lot of my own research, as those of you who come from my astrology channel already know. And I oftentimes use tropical, perspectives, sometimes mixed with Vedic perspectives, based on what I have seen to work empirically. And I also do a lot of videos on my astrology channel where I present patterns that I've discovered and stuff from reading horoscopes, with a lot of examples of charts as well of famous people. So yeah, if you're curious about astrology, go ahead and check out my astrology channel. Maybe subscribe to that channel. I would greatly appreciate it. And aside from that, if you would like to support my channel further by becoming a member, by leaving a tip, any amount is very, very welcome. Also, by sharing this link, this video, with anyone that you know might be interested in tarot, I would greatly appreciate it. It would be greatly appreciated overall. So yes, thank you very much. And I hope to see you at my next tarot reading. Bye. Welcome, pile number 3. This is your reading if you have chosen this card over here with the death, basically, and or this blue calcite crystal. This is going to be the card selection / shuffling phase. So I'm going to add timestamps if you want to skip, because I will be taking my time. Spirit, tell me about pile number 3. Who is coming towards them in love? Spirit, who is coming towards pile number 3 in love? Let's see. Oh, wow. We have the Devil. 3 of Cups. Ooh, we have the Lover. This person already is someone who, wow, like the Tower. I'm gonna shut up because that, oh my oh my gosh, 8 of Swords. So this person like, can I just say this? This is not gonna be someone who is shy, okay? Those of you who already kind of know tarot, you probably know why I'm laughing at what I'm about to say. Well, what I was thinking about these cards, because I'm gonna refrain from saying anything before I have all the cards in front of me, but can I just say this person is not gonna be shy. This person is gonna be coming on strongly. Pile number 3. Okay. Who's coming towards pile number 3 in love? Okay. So we have 7 of Pentacles, we have 9 of Cups, we have the Hierophant. Oh, I don't like the way this looks. Okay. I'm gonna shut up. Okay, you haven't heard anything. Well, there are multiple ways to look at anything at any point, so I'm gonna see. The Hierophant, where was I? King of Wands, 7 of Swords, and the 8 of Cups. Okay, underneath the 8 of Swords. All right. Let me get some Oracle cards. Spirit, who is coming towards pile number 3 in love? Celebration. Who is coming towards pile number 3? Okay, 2 of these wanted to come out. Discernment and Power. Wow, like this person has such heavy Scorpio energy, it's not even funny. They could also have a lot of number 8 in their numerology. They could be someone who is born on the 26th or the 17th or on the 8th of any particular month, you know, numbers that boil down to an 8 in numerology, or they could have number 8 very strongly in their strongly represented in their numerology, like maybe their life path number 8 or destiny number 8, name number 8, like personality number, soul urge, you know, whatever. This person could have a strong number 8, and or they could have strong Pluto and or Saturn in their horoscope. Pluto or Saturn or Scorpio or Capricorn, Aquarius to a lesser extent. But yeah, with Death card coming through at first and then the Devil, holy shit. Yeah, this person has very, very heavy Scorpio vibes. This is what I'm getting here. But okay, one more card. Hold on, I got carried away. Please tell me, Spirit, who's coming towards pile number 3 in love. Oh, no, 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 no. Holy moly. News Raven. God, this person must be like the most, Scorpio energy. Like, I'm getting Edgar Allan Poe vibes here already with this. This person is gothic or something. They're gothic and lustful as well. There, I said it. I mean, the Ace of Wands and the Devil and the Lovers in opposition. I don't know. Like, you must have a very strong effect on this person, pile number 3. Anyway, so let me break it down. So, the Devil and the 7 of Pentacles. This person, at this moment, they are very, I mean, to be fair, we have the 7 of Pentacles, so maybe I shouldn't have jumped to conclusions. Okay, this person could just be very passionate about their work at this moment. That could be one explanation. Another explanation could be that they already saw you and they have the hots for you, all right? Because of that Devil. Hold on. I'm going to get some clarification. Maybe this is going to make things clearer. Please clarify the Devil, Spirit. Although technically, okay, we have this. We have the Strength. Oh, okay. Please clarify the 7 of Pentacles. 8 of Wands, Queen of Wands. We also have King of Wands. A lot of fire as well. 7 of Pentacles. Okay. This person could be someone, and I know people are not going to want to hear this, but they could be someone who's battling some kind of addiction at this present moment. Or it could be something like a recent process, you know, like something they're going through in, I don't know, it could have started in the recent past and it's still ongoing, or it's about to start. But like something around their current energy when you come across this reading shows me that this person is battling some addiction. They could also deal with things like misdirected sexuality. Maybe they have a corn addiction or something. Maybe, and again, we have the number 8 here with the Strength. Wow. And we have the Lion. So yeah, this person could also have prominent Leo placements. I wouldn't be surprised. But I'm seeing this person like fighting to control themselves. So like they're working on self-control here with the Strength and the Devil. Maybe they're trying to control themselves from, you know, going Pepe Le Pew on you. I just had visions in my head, you know. She's afraid of herself, this one, you know. I'm kidding. Okay, I'm just gonna get it together. So yeah, 7 of Pentacles, also 8. Here we have the number 8 again. Like this person, like I said, loads of Scorpio, loads of Saturn. So loads of 8. This person is very, very strong in the willpower department. Okay, so they have a lot of energy. They're very determined. They're the kind of person who sets a goal and doesn't give up until they reach it. But at this moment, they're working on a lot of self-control. And I also see with the 7 of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands and the 8 of Wands, they could be someone who has to move around a lot due to their work. And they're also someone who is very, very determined to make the most of the opportunities that they have before them, especially when it comes to career with that 7 of Pentacles. So they're some kind of work in progress right now. So they're working towards something specific, and I see that they're very motivated. Okay, we have the 3 of Cups and the 9 of Cups here. in support. This person, and maybe this is a part again that a lot of people are not going to want to hear, but the Three of Cups is an energy of reunion to some extent. So for some of you, this could be a person that you have met before or you have seen before, or this could be a past life connection, although so far I don't see any repeating themes of that. But this could be for some of you, someone that you have known before. It could even be an ex for some of you. Doesn't have to be, though. Yeah, someone that you may have known before, or you have seen or met before. You maybe even talked to them. But again, doesn't necessarily mean that you were romantically involved. This could be one option with the Three of Cups. Another one, if this is not someone you've met before or seen before, maybe you haven't even met this person or seen them. Three of Cups just shows that this person is going to be very motivated to communicate with you, you know? So they have, like, the way that they're going to approach you is going to be very friendly and kind of rational, you know? Like, they want to approach you on like intellectual level. They want to see if there's a connection there intellectually. They want to reach out, you know? They're gonna want to reach out again, because for some of you, you may have met this person. For some of you, maybe not. So I'm not getting specific messages about that, and I didn't specifically ask about that. So I'm just going to take all scenarios into account because it's a general reading. I also have to say that with the Nine of Cups, the reason why this person is going to approach you is because they kind of see you like a dream come true. They see you as the potential fulfillment of their wishes. So they see you as a massive opportunity and they don't want to miss it out. They don't want to miss out on it. So we have the Lovers and the Hierophant. See, that is the part where I was kind of like, had a dubious reaction in the beginning. And the reason I say this is, well, the Hierophant. See, here's the part. This is the part where I was thinking, for some of you, this could actually be a person who is in a relationship at the moment when you meet them, or when you see them for the first time, or when they see you. Because the Lovers, yeah, could be that what is getting in their way is the fact that there is an ongoing relationship with someone. Especially with the Hierophant underneath, this could even be a marriage, you know. But this doesn't mean that, you know, this person is going to be married when they approach you, because the Death card is the first card they came through. So for some of you, this could actually be a person who is in the process of separating from someone at the moment when you come across this reading, or has recently separated or is about to separate. That could be one interpretation. If this is not the case, there is also a possibility that this is not about a relationship at all. And instead, what is actually showing here, what is showing up here, is the fact that this could be a person who feels blinded by emotions for you. So they could have very intense feelings for some of you, you know. So it's like they will do their best to be calm and rational. Like I said, for some of you, that Devil is about how you are basically messing up their radar, you know, like you are just... they're like a compass and the needle is all over the place, you know what I mean? Because like you are just messing up their signals and their circuits and stuff, and you know, it's like they can't think clearly when you're around. But so the Lovers and the Hierophant underneath just shows that they will idealize you, they will feel very attracted towards you. And with the Hierophant, they probably dream about marrying you from pretty much an early stage of this connection. Now, with the Tower, okay, and the King of Wands, this is the past. So this person in the past has gone through some Tower moment, all right, with the King of Wands. This could have been something that really affected their confidence. This could have been something that, you know, I mean, it's a Tower moment, right? So it's something that really ended some significant chapter in their lives, maybe in a particular area of their lives. This again can go hand in hand with the scenario that for some of you, this person is someone who's going through a separation, could have recently gone through a divorce. Does not necessarily have to be the case. The Tower also with the King of Wands, what I can tell you is that this person's confidence definitely suffered. Maybe their self-esteem suffered. They could have gone through a phase where they kind of lost motivation, maybe even lost their sense of identity to some extent, like they didn't even know who they were anymore. I want to clarify some stuff. Please clarify the Tower here. Let's see if I get more information. The Empress. Please clarify the King of Wands. Oh my God. Oh my God. The Tower again. Please clarify the Tower. Okay. Please. This second Tower. You're running out of towers. So don't clear. Page of Pentacles. Okay. Tower behind. Yeah. With the Empress. Especially if this is a man. I definitely think that this is about a woman. Like they were separated. Either they were broken up with or they were separated by a woman. This could have been you, by the way. If this is someone that... if this is an ex, you know, this is someone who's just not over you and is going to go for it a second time. Please clarify the Empress. King of Swords. I cannot. So, yeah. This person is just... there could have been some kind of love triangle here. This is what I'm getting. That explains so much, honestly. Oh my God. Yeah. This person could have been seriously betrayed in the past. Maybe it wasn't like... I mean, the fourth placement is the past. And usually the way that I read it is like a recent past. Something that has just happened. But it could have been multiple things that happened, like multiple betrayals. This is what I'm seeing, like multiple times when their lives have been thrown upside down somehow. Yeah, I'm definitely seeing some kind of romantic rivalry here happening between this person. They could have been caught up in some kind of romantic triangle where they were cheated on or betrayed by someone. But, and look at this, the Tower coming through twice. This person has, yeah, they were hurt. All right? They were seriously hurt. And I think that they're the King of Wands. And, like, they had some kind of rival who's, like, a King of Swords energy. This is what I'm getting here. Like, someone... like, they were the one who was passionate and, you know, gave away too much too soon and lost to someone who was more calculated. And I definitely feel like this is about something romantic. And again, this could apply irrespective of gender. And then we have the Ace of Wands, and we have the Seven of Swords. Hold on. Please clarify the Seven of Swords here. Three of Cups again. Oh my God. I really think for many of you, this is someone you have at least met before. Or, okay, let me just, again, rephrase. Not necessarily that you have already met this person, but one scenario that I see here is this is someone who that maybe you won't even know who they are when they approach you for the first time, but they have seen you and they have looked at you for a long time, for like longer than you know them. Because this looks to me like a strategy. You know, this person is strategizing. The way that they're going to approach you is like some kind of strategy. Here we have the Three of Swords again. The Three of Cups again. Like I said initially, that this person is going to approach you through communication. They're going to approach you in a friendly manner. And this Seven of Swords is about strategy, right? So their strategy in approaching you is going to be like being friendly, maybe trying to be friends first, opening communication. I think at first they're going to try to be very happy-go-lucky. But with the Ace of Wands, there's also a lot of determination and a lot of passion. So I think that they're going to be the ones to initiate it. Hold on, let me clarify. Please clarify the Ace of Wands here. Nine of Cups again. Nine of Cups came through here as well. So, Jesus, I mean, I've lost track of how many repetitions. See, Spirit has missed me. What can I say? This person is going to see you like a dream come true, all right? They are going to look at you like, you know what song I'm getting in my head right now? That song by Barry White, I think it's called. I think that's his name. It's called My First, My Last, My Everything. You're the answer to all of my dreams. I'm singing it very badly, but you know, you're my sun, my moon. You're some kind of wonderful, that kind of thing. Like, this person is gonna idealize the CRAP out of you. But here's the thing. Eight of Swords. I want to get more clarification on this. Please clarify the Eight of Swords, because this one, have to say, is a little bit tricky. Two of Swords. Okay, please clarify the Two of Swords. Two of Swords, Two of Wands. Someone is going to have to make a choice here, and it could be them or you. Please clarify the Eight of Cups, Spirit. Oh my God, the Judgment. The Judgment. Yes. This is what I see here. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm definitely getting some love triangle stuff here for some of you. I mean, this reading, I'm sorry if it seems more chaotic, but I'm getting like multiple strong messages that seem contradictory. So I think it's like multiple storylines for different people who are watching this. But I think I mean, look at this. This is about making a choice here. The Eight of Swords, Two of Swords, Two of Wands underneath. This looks to me like one or both of you needs to choose to work on this relationship, or both of you have to choose to work on this relationship. So basically what I'm seeing here is there is a possibility for this to lead to something long-term, but it has to be a mutual investment. It has to be like two people working at it at the same time with the same intensity and investment to be serious about it. And I think this person also will pursue you aggressively, maybe even at times, because they're afraid that someone else is going to snatch you away from them. So I definitely feel like this person has some traumas about being cheated on, you know. So maybe at first, from your perspective, it's going to seem like they come across too strongly, you know, like you might be like, what the fuck, you know. And yeah, the Two of Wands can also speak of maybe being but no, actually no, I was gonna say something, but no, never mind, because I don't see any repeated themes about this. But no, I think this is definitely about them being afraid that if they don't, you know, strike the iron while it's hot, that someone else is gonna snatch you away. Yeah, and they're going to have like maybe one moment or two of hesitation, but they're gonna pursue you wholeheartedly, I think, afterwards. And the Eight of Cups here with Judgment. So yeah, it looks to me like this person is going to make a conscious choice, basically. So this is a person who's going to ultimately make a very conscious decision. This can also be, however, I have to tell you, with the Two of Swords and the Two of Wands and the karma, that Spirit is saying this is kind of undecided yet, you know. So the outcome of this relationship is not 100% set in stone. It depends a lot on how you progress as a couple, you know, how you get along, how much effort you both put into it, definitely. What is really interesting to me here with number 23, Raven News, is like, I wonder if this is someone that you're already in contact with or something, like, or someone you have, maybe someone who has already communicated to you, or you have communicated to them, with them. But again, my guess is that a lot of you, aside from those that maybe feel like this is an ex, right? I think for a lot of you, you may have absolutely no idea who this is. Like, this could be someone who's watching you from the shadows. I just got that song. I've been watching, I've been waiting in the shadows all my life. It was popular like 100 years ago when I was young. But yeah, anyway, this is what I'm getting from the tarot card. So let's see if we get more stability from the, Lilith on the back. I wonder if that's a sign. Spirit, tell me about pile number 3. Who is coming towards them in love? Who is coming towards pile number 3 in love? Tell me. First house, self and identity. 12th house, spirituality and art. Venus, ooh, love and beauty. 5th house, joy and play. Sagittarius, the world explorer. Okay, so I'm going to say what I was about to say with the Two of Wands. I did think that maybe for some of you, this person is quite at a distance from you, but definitely not for all of you. And I'm going to see if I get more messages about that as I go along. But let's break it down so far. Sorry that the lighting is not great, but yeah, let me put Venus here. Okay, so you can see it's Venus. So with the first house, the 12th house, the 5th house, so this could show how you meet this person. Can I just say, with Venus coming through, this person is good looking. All right, definitely above average good looking, irrespective of their gender. With Venus, I have to say, they might have some feminine traits, irrespective of whether they are a man or not, or a woman or not, or anything in between, right? So Venus shows conventional beauty, but even with men, it tends to show someone who is pretty, you know? Someone who has traditionally pretty features, photogenic, nice skin, could have a nice voice as well. Let me think. Nice hair, yeah, a nice smile. Just conventionally pretty, you know, like could even look like a model depending on, you know, what your situation is. Meaning depending on the person, because there will be degrees of attractiveness. And I'm going to see what other astrological notes come through later as well. But yeah, this person is good looking. All right, above average. And with the Venus energy, there's also a tendency towards, I mean, hello, we had the devil coming through. We had the lovers coming through. Yeah, she's got it. Yeah, baby, she's got it. So number 6, which is the number that appears on the lovers, the devil, is ruled by Venus in numerology. So number 6 could be important in this person's numerological makeup. Maybe they're born on the 24th, on the 6th, on the 15th. Maybe they have a number 6 life path, number 6 destiny number, number 6 personality or soul urge. They could have a prominent Venus in their horoscope, you know, a lot of placements in Taurus and or Libra, placements in the Venus ruled nakshatras, Bharani, Purva Falguni, Purva Ashadha. Purva Ashadha, I think, would make a lot of sense since we have Sagittarius as well. So Purva Ashadha falls in sidereal Sagittarius. So yeah. But yeah, this person has a lot of Venus, right? So they could also be artistic, especially with the 5th and the 12th houses. Okay, speaking of Poe, I mean, with the 12th house, I mean, this person maybe can even like the goth aesthetic. Yeah, they could just like dark stuff, maybe. I mean, in today's world, I think the dark stuff is becoming more and more popular, but not mainstream still, really. Maybe for some of you, this person is actually goth. Maybe they actually like Poe. They like gothic poetry, or they like Penny Dreadful or something, you know, that kind of stuff, that kind of aesthetic, that gothic stuff, you know, scary stories and scary movies and whatnot. They could be someone who has a dark side, you know, or they like the dark aesthetic. And they could be someone who is very, like I said, just creative. I mean, 5th house is connected to self-expression. It's also more than any other house connected to dramatic arts, you know, so maybe this is a person who likes play acting, you know, maybe they like games in general, irrespective of their age, you know, they just like to be playful. They could also really like kids, or maybe they could be working with kids, maybe they could have kids. I also think with the 5th house, this is definitely, I mean, if the Venus coming through repeatedly wasn't enough of a message about this, 5th house is adding more to it. It's sealing the deal that this person is a very passionate, romantic person. I wouldn't be surprised if this person also had a prominent Eros asteroid in their horoscope. I actually haven't talked about Eros ever, I think, on my astrology channel or this tarot channel, but I do plan on talking more about it in the future because I have noticed some very interesting patterns about it. But yeah, so I feel like this person has that nice blend of like, you know, being sensuous, but also very romantic, you know, or being like a romantic type of sexy, you know, or a sexy type of romantic. They also probably have a youthfulness about them. Like they like I said, a playfulness about them, you know. Maybe they like to spend time with kids because they're young at heart, etc., etc. Also we have, I just realized, we have celebration. Oh my god. We have celebration, we have Three of Cups, and look, we have, look at this, look at the symbolisms here. We had Three of Cups came out twice. Sorry, yeah, it came out twice, yeah. We have it here as well. And we also have this card with discernment. Discernment also is like a synonym for judgment, which also came through here. That's the way that I see it anyway. So anyway, with the celebration, the 5th house, this person likes to party. You know, not like they necessarily like to go to clubs, but they like to have fun. They know how to have fun, you know? And they like maybe society, spending time with people. They could have a lot of social graces with all that Venus, etc. But at the same time, they could also have an introverted, maybe even mystical side with that 12th house. So the 12th house is about secrecy, and it's about having a hidden side almost, having a bit of a dreamy romantic vibe as well. So it's also connected to isolation, to the state of dreaming as well. So this is why I said kind of poet, you know, Edgar Poe and all that stuff. So maybe this is someone who likes to spend time in isolation and come up with creative works. You know, they could actually have creative hobbies. Maybe they, for some of you, maybe they're even like a professional artist of some sorts. Although with the Venus, there's also a strong possibility that whatever they're doing for a living, they love what they're doing for a living, you know? So they're very passionate about their work, for instance. I think this is the kind of person that would probably have a very hard time working in something that is not something they love, you know? Especially with the 5th house and the Venus coming through very strongly, you know? And with the 1st house, this could be a person that stands out. They could also have a bit of a reputation, like they could be recognizable to some extent. You know, the 1st house is the house of self. Maybe they could even be working in some line of work where their physical appearance is very important, or it's important for them to be recognizable. Could even be that this person has a strong social media following or something, and maybe that somehow connects to their work. 1st house is also the physical body, the face as well. So like the whole body actually. So this person's body could really stand out, you know, maybe they really care about their bodies, you know, like maybe they're very into fitness, they take care of themselves, they like to work out. Other people could really look at them as attractive because of the way that they take care of themselves. They could also be someone who works in something connected to beauty, beautifying, you know, a fitness instructor, a cosmetologist, a hairdresser, a barber. Could be someone who is a plastic surgeon even, who knows? I mean, just anyone who focuses on beautifying, you know, or improving the physical appearance. With 12th house, they could also be working in isolation. And again, 12th house and Sagittarius go hand in hand with the idea that this person could be at quite a distance from you, because the 12th house actually shows the furthest distance from a person, especially since you have both the 1st and the 12th house. I feel like this is a pretty strong sign. Like Spirit is saying, oh, this person is pretty far away from you right now, you know? This could be for some of you, definitely. Like I said, definitely not for everyone, because the 12th house can also be isolation, working in isolation. Could also be, like I said, spirituality, dreaming, creativity, imagination. So this could be a person that you dream about a lot if you already know them, or they dream a lot about you if they know you, but you don't know them. Maybe you dream about each other. That could also be a possibility. But yeah, 12th house can also show that maybe they work in isolation. They could be working in places of isolation. I don't know. Like maybe they are researchers in nature collecting water samples from the hills or something. Or they could be working in a hospital, a prison, you know, with people who are separated from the rest of society. They could be working in an ashram. They could be very spiritually inclined. You know, there could be a bunch of different possibilities. And with Sagittarius, this person definitely has some kind of wanderlust. You know, they're probably someone who likes to travel, someone who likes to, yeah, someone who has a sense of adventure, you know, likes to explore things, likes to see as much of the world as possible. And I think this person is quite outdoorsy as well, you know. I definitely feel for most of you, this person likes to stay physically active and physically fit. Despite the Venus energy, which would show a tendency towards laziness and comfort as well. So I feel like maybe they have two dichotomous sides where on the one hand they really like love, they like love and comfort and all that, but on the other hand they like you know, to explore and to be active and all that stuff, right? Okay, aside from this, let me get the Astro dice. Spirit, tell me. Oh, wait, I forgot to say. These houses can also show how you met this person or how you will meet this person, because I'm not saying that everyone has already met them. So first house, 12th house, 5th house, all right? 12th house could be that you will see this person online because there is a faraway connection. 12th house is faraway places. Could also be isolation. So you could be home alone, I don't know, surfing Instagram or something when you first see this person, right? That could be a scenario, a topic of isolation and a topic of distance. 12th house could also be, again, any place of isolation. So you could have met this person at a hospital. You could have met them through a religious group, right? Some kind of place of religious worship, because the 12th house is about religion and spirituality as well. And churches could be a place of isolation. You could have also met this person at a retreat, right? You could have met this person while traveling to a faraway place, or they could have met you while traveling to a faraway place if they travel to your place. You could also meet this person through anything involving import-export situations, you know. I don't know, well, buying something on Amazon. I don't know how that could happen, but, you know. You could also, with the first house, you could have met this person close to your place of birth, or you were in your hometown when you met this person, or they were in their hometown when you met this person, or when they saw you. First house can also be, again, everything connected to the physical body. So it could be that you met at the gym, you know, while working out. They could have been your fitness instructor. Let me think. What else? This could also be a situation where they come to you first, which makes sense a lot with the rest of the cards. Like I said, I think this person is going to have the hots for you, for most of you, if not all of you. So the first house can just show that this person is going to be the one to make the first move, and they're going to approach you in person. This could even be the first time you meet them. Like maybe there's someone who just came up to you and was like, hi, and you had no idea who they were, but maybe they were stalking your social media for like months. Sorry, I don't want to make you paranoid, but it is a possibility. Also, with the 5th house, you could have met this person through any kind of educational program. Like maybe you were at university together, you were taking a course together. They could have been your teacher, you could have been their teacher. You could have met through anything involving drama, creativity, arts, especially dramatic arts. I don't know, you could have met at a theater play. You could have met through anything connected to children, you know, if you have children, if they have children, maybe you're a kindergarten teacher or something, and I don't know, they're the father of some child that is in your class. That could be an option. Anything connected to play and fun as well. So leisure travel is definitely a strong one, since it also correlates to the 12th house. So you could have just met this person when you traveled for fun, had a holiday, on a holiday. You could have met them through anything you just did for fun. I don't know, going to the movies, taking a hobby course, yeah, that kind of thing. Also, you could also take these things as hints with respect to how you're gonna get in touch with this person. So yeah. Let me think. Is there anything else about the 5th house? Oh, of course. 5th house, to be fair, can also be about meeting on a dating website. You know, that would go hand in hand with the 12th house as well, and that theme of maybe meeting online. Because, you know, 5th house is about dating, so anything that is specifically connected to dating could be how you meet this person. Okay. This is pretty much what I can say. Astro dice now. Spirit, tell me about pile number 3. Who is coming towards them in love? Who is this person? Oh, are you effing kidding me? Are you effing kidding me? Number 8 again. Wow. This person is like, you know what I'm getting in my head right now? Those lines of like, because I would not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. The carriage held but just ourselves. I don't remember what it was. Something about eternity. I'm not good at memorizing lines. I don't it was a female poet who wrote that, but I don't remember the name. Anyway, it's something. I wonder if this person is like goth and dramatic and stuff. Like, I don't know. Oh my god! And we have the sun. We have the sun, which is correlating to the 5th house and Leo energy, and we have Leo. So a lot of sun energy, a lot of Leo energy. So yeah, this person could definitely be dramatic. You know, Leo is very much about self-expression, dramatic arts, creativity. It's also about having a bit of an ego, to be fair, you know. So yeah, this person could have like a strong jawline as well because of this Leo. They could have a squarish jawline, or even if it's not perfectly square, it's quite wide. I think for most of you, this person will tend to be average or above average in height because of that Sagittarius energy. I'm going to see what else I get through the handwritten notes that I have. But yeah, this person is like intense AF. Intense, all right? So I'm making them seem very happy-go-lucky. But, I mean, yeah, dramatic and intense kind of go hand in hand. But I think this person is someone who's very passionate because I'm seeing like a predominance of water and fire energy here. So like this person, I think, like I said, they're working hard on self-control over here. Yeah, I don't know if that's a general theme in life or if they're trying to control their emotions towards you. Like I said, for some of you, like I said, it could be that they're working on some addiction issues. Let's see. Spirit, tell me about pile number 3. Who is coming towards them in love? Who's coming towards pile number 3 in love? Tell me, Spirit. Nothing. Yeah, I'm not feeling it. Okay, let's see. You guys got a lot of nakshatras. Aquarius. Okay, so we have some fixed energy. Didn't we get the... I'm pretty sure we got the King of Swords at some point, didn't we? Yeah, whenever I see Aquarius, I always correlate it to Queen and King of Swords. I don't remember if I did. Yeah, there it is. King of Swords. I knew there was a King of Swords. Here we have Libra confirmation about the Venus energy. Let's see. Virgo. Okay, I was not expecting demure little Virgo to be in here, but you never know, you know, silent waters. Jupiter. Okay. That is Sagittarius. Aries. Okay, so there's a little bit of intensity over there with the Aries. Let's see what we have with the nakshatras. You guys got a lot of them, unlike the other piles. Mrigashira, falling in Taurus and Gemini, ruled by Mars. So we have some Mars going on. Magha. Oh, Leo. Yes, this person probably has an ego. But I'm gonna get more into it as I go along. We have Uttara Falguni again, ruled by the sun. Oh yes, loads of sun with this person. Yes. Falling in Virgo, so there's the Virgo going on. We have Anuradha, finally, bingo. We have some Scorpio. Okay, Anuradha, ruled by Saturn. There's the Saturn as well, Scorpio and Saturn. Yeah. Danishta, that explains the 1st house and the Venus. I mean, this person is definitely attractive. Definitely. They definitely have an attractive body. I can tell you 100%. Kritika, ruled by the sun. More sun. Wow. Oh my god. I am just getting that song in my head. I don't remember the name of the band, but I actually recently remembered them in the past couple of years because I found out that the lead singer sadly offed himself and I just saw a documentary about him and Jester Bennington and some kind of conspiracy theory that they were offed, quote unquote. What was their name? Something Soundgarden or something. And they had a song called Black Hole Sun. I'm sure that if you're an older millennial, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It was like something like, Black hole sun, won't you come and wash away the rain? Something like that. So this person could be like a dark sun sort of person. Here we have Ketu, Ashwini, Aries, okay. Like maybe they're dark and brooding, I don't know. And it may not just be an act. Shravana, falling in Capricorn, ruled by the moon. Chitra, okay, ruled by Mars. Here we have demure little Virgo. Yeah. Which is not so demure in Chitra, let me tell you. And Libra, ruled by Mars. Okay, so let me break down the messages because there's a bunch of them in here. So this person, okay, we have Scorpio, but we actually have a lot more Mars than Scorpio, but that doesn't mean much because this is all in terms of archetypes, right? So it's not necessarily going to be the case, of course, that everyone here is going to get a partner or, yeah, someone who's going to show a romantic interest in them who has these actual placements. It could just be that they have characteristics of these particular archetypes, all right? So we have definitely got a heavy Scorpio energy. So that's about transformation, intensity, intense emotions, being obsessive even. I wonder if this person is actually going to be a little bit obsessed with you. I mean, hello, that Ace of Wands really got me thinking with that Lovers in opposition, the Devil in the first with the Strength clarified. It's like this person is fighting emotions, you know, to save their lives, holding on for dear life, you know, to not be swept away. To not be swept away by their intense passion towards you. And here we have Aquarius as well, which with the King of Swords, like I said, that is a clarification, but here we have that capacity for self-control and a little bit of detachment. So I think with some of them at least, maybe not all of them, but with some of them, they can be very good at putting on a poker face, especially with the Aquarius, with the Libra, with cute little Virgo. I'm gonna get some annoyed Virgos in the comment section like, shut up. Why are you calling us cute? Anyway. It's just that, Virgo has a reputation for being very self-controlled and self-possessed and, unassuming and, the kind of people that others will tend to see as innocent and decent, law-abiding citizens, not capable of intense passions, but you never know. Like I said, still waters. And also they could have other stuff going on in their horoscope that overpowers whatever Virgo energies they might have in there. So yeah, they could have a poker face, definitely. So this could be a person that just is really good at containing their true emotions, hiding their true emotions. And with the Libra coming through with Shravana, with Anuradha, even with Dhanishta, and Uttara Falguni and Chitra, this person could definitely have some social graces going on. They know how to make themselves pleasant and cheerful and, like the celebration card shows, someone who can probably put people at ease if they really want to. And with the Anuradha, this is a workaholic streak. Yeah. So for some of you, I have to say, I'm sorry that I started out with the worst case scenario, but with that Devil, with the Strength, and with the Seven of Pentacles, like I said, they could be a workaholic. I think I did mention that in the beginning. I don't know if I did, but I was thinking it. All right. They could also be obsessed with work. So right at this moment, they could just be very obsessed with getting particular results in life or with respect to a project or their career or something. And that is explained through the Anuradha. But can I just say, Anuradha, speaking of contained emotions, has a reputation among Vedic astrologers to be this kind of energy of hidden romanticism. It's like they are very good at keeping a cool appearance. Very calm, cool, professional, but deep down they can be very romantic and very needy emotionally. And also they're very loyal. They're capable of great loyalty. Okay, I have to say Critica I think came through for all three piles. Well, I've seen I don't remember about the rest of them actually. I definitely think Danishta came out for one of the other piles. Anyway, it doesn't mean anything. You of course can check one of the other piles if you felt drawn to them, but if not, you're gonna get all the messages that you need to hear from this one, so no need to listen to the other ones unless you feel drawn to them. But Kritika with Ultra Falguni, all this sun energy and all this Mars energy, I have to say, despite Venus coming through, I think that this pile more than the other two, but don't tell them. Do not say this in the comments because I will get an uprising, all right? But I really think this one, okay, just vibing here, is probably the most masculine energy, okay? So I see someone who comes across as predominantly masculine on the surface, at least. Doesn't mean that they don't have feelings or something. I'm just gonna shut up because I'm not in my most diplomatic mood right now. I can just keep thinking about how everything I say can be interpreted in the wrong way. Anyway, but yeah, I feel like this person has a very masculine vibe, so I wouldn't be surprised if this is the kind of guy that a lot of women go gaga for very badly, just because they have that very manly vibe, like they look like they have their stuff together and like they're, like they're the king of their castle sort of thing, like they, not necessarily that they know everything and all that, but they have this kind of quiet confidence, probably like this vibe of like, I know who I am and anyone who doesn't like it can go screw themselves and all that. This is the general vibe that I'm getting. But of course, they can also be charming and social and all that stuff. And they can also get it together for the most part, considering these energies. I think with Virgo, this person is a perfectionist. So I think this person could be more self-critical than people perceive them to be. They can also be very critical towards other people at the same time, even more so with Kritika coming through at the same time. So this person could, by the way, speaking of diplomacy, they could definitely have a sharp tongue at times, right? With Kritika, with Virgo, with all the Mars energy, they could, have slip-ups where they say the wrong thing at the wrong time, at the wrong place. Now I'm getting that song in my head, Wrong by Depeche Mode. If you haven't listened to it and watched the video, you should, because it's worth it. I happen to be a little bit of a Depeche Mode fan, and I had a phase when I used to play that song on repeat. Anyway, so this person could have a very masculine vibe, and also physically, their physique in general really stands out. So I'm getting this very, very strong physique here. Even if this person is overall lean, they still have something about them that makes them very attractive. And again, if this is a man, very masculine. If this is not a man, this is a very physically strong woman, like they just have a healthy looking body, Could be pretty broad, irrespective of their gender, so I'm seeing strong shoulders and all that. If this is a woman, probably strong hips as well. Kind of a broad back, just a broad body frame in general, I think, for most of them. With Marika Shira, this person could definitely like nature. I think I mentioned that. This person could be a bit outdoorsy. They could like forests. They could like animals, and they could, animals could be drawn to them. They maybe really like pets. They care about wildlife and stuff like that. That could be a thing. They could also like horses for some of you with that Ashwini energy. And speaking of the Ashwini energy, this person, I think, has a nice bone structure. I've seen this a lot with Ashwini natives, that they tend to have, high cheekbones, like tend to have pretty chiseled features. They also tend to have like a face shape that is perfectly oval. Obviously, it's not going to be like everyone who gets this reading is going to have a person who looks the same, but yeah, Ashwinis tend to produce nice bone structure, and especially among men, again, it tends to produce some very masculine looking features. and like very prominent, strong features, you know, like a strong nose, high cheekbones that are very chiseled, a nice smile. That's a big one with Ashwini. But yeah, and they also tend to have a very kind of brave, pioneering spirit, you know, where they just like to push forward and keep working towards the things they care about, even if the things they care about seem very weird to other people, because Ashwini is this energy of kind of, you know, staying true to yourself no matter what, you know, dancing to your own tune, you know, to the beat of your own drum. Yeah, and with Chitra, again, they could actually really care about their physical appearance, which is not necessarily a bad thing, especially considering the fact that they probably are above average attractive. But with Chitra, they probably make conscious effort to look their best. They probably do give thought to what they wear, how they dress, for the most part, for most of you. They could also be very visual in general. They could be really drawn to things like photography, filmography, you know, like anything that has to do with capturing an image, basically. They could also be into things like, you know, painting, drawing, you know, forms and stuff like art and stuff like that. Let me think, what else? Oh yeah, with Uttara Falguni, they can be very stubborn. Also with Kritika, both of them are kind of stubborn as a bull in a way. And yeah, they can be very determined. This is the kind of person that, you know, once they make up their mind, nothing is going to change their mind. I have to say with Kritika in this reading, it does tend to reinforce the fact that for some of you, this person could be sneaky in the sense that they might even consider pursuing you when they're in a relationship. I feel like I have to give this as a fair warning, although considering the rest of the cards, I don't think that this is the general, you know, vibe of these people. But there might be some of you, you know, especially those of you who know someone that is married, that is giving you, you know, batting eyelashes around you and stuff. Be careful because yeah, some of them might be sneaky and they just might see you as an affair or something like that because of that Seven of Swords energy. Though with Kritika, again, there is this tendency towards, I was going to say self-righteousness. And yeah, to some extent, yeah, I mean, all of the sun-ruled energies actually tend to be self-righteous sometimes. Like they feel like they have a monopoly on the truth. And this person could have a bit of an ego. Yeah, I have to say. With Magha Nakshatra, this person could be very proud of their origins. They could be very proud of their family. For some of you, they could even be coming from some kind of, you know, I don't know, like a particular bloodline that is very closed off, that is, I don't know, has a history or something. And I'm not saying nobility or anything. I'm sure that that's not going to be the case for most of you, but this could be just a person who is just very proud of their heritage and they care about things like bloodline and genetic legacy and stuff like that. Like they probably are the kind of person who thinks in terms of like, you know, oh, do I want this person to be, you know, part of my family and stuff like that. They probably put things into perspective like that all the time. And they could also be very physical. So considering multiple of these nakshatras, they, like I said, I mean, I'm not surprised the first house came through. I think this person is probably compulsively active, you know, even if they're not like a professional in something related to sports, like a personal trainer or an athlete or whatever. Like they could even actually be someone who has competed in sports and stuff, because there's a lot of physical energy here. So I think this is someone who really likes to be on the move. They like to express themselves physically. They probably feel very comfortable, you know, exercising a lot, staying physically active. And I think they are someone who is pretty status conscious as well, although I don't see them as, unlike other vibes that I've gotten before, not just in this reading, but in general, when you see people who are, you know, focused on status, they tend to be kind of desperate to get approval. But I think this is someone who still has a bit of an idealized view of the world and of social status. And like, there's someone who wants to make it the honest way, you know, like they believe in social status as something that you earn. And there's someone who, you know, wants to build a reputation brick by brick. So, yeah, they believe in hard work. They believe in leaving a legacy when it comes to their work, and also when it comes to their family, I think, looking at these. Danishta is probably the biggest indicator that this person is someone who has a very attractive body. Okay, of course they could also have an attractive face, but usually with Danishta there is a particular vibe of sexy connected to this nakshatra, where people who have it, you know, tend to attract a lot of that attention because they are physically fit and attractive and, yeah, vital and fit and muscular and all that. Also, I have to say, going hand in hand with that first house message and the sun that I was talking about with Magha and with Danishta, this person could actually be quite well known. They could be someone who has a reputation. Like I said, they could have social media. Maybe they have some degree of fame. Could be that they're, you know, very respected in their line of work, in their profession, something like that, you know, that they could have a certain degree of visibility. And with Mrigashira, they can really like detective stories. They can like to do research. They can also have very sharp instincts, you know, they're good at spotting the root cause of issues. Yeah, they could have a very sharp, logical mind. They could also like to debate and might even like to argue sometimes, especially with Kritika and Mrigashira showing up together. With Shravana, this is probably the only one I haven't touched upon yet. Shravana shows, it's actually symbolized by the ear. So this nakshatra is very much connected to being a good listener. So this could be a person who, again, this is a great thing to take into account if you're considering whether you want to keep them or not. Yeah, this is a person who is gonna like to listen, all right, and which is always a good quality to have in a relationship. They are definitely someone who likes to listen before they form an opinion. They can be someone who comes across as very patient, you know, because of this listening skill. There's someone who ponders, who is diplomatic. Also, Shravana is quite traditionalist in some ways, you know. So they could have traditional views about a bunch of things, you know, depending on what planets are in Shravana, if they have any. But yeah, they could be quite traditional in their values, you know, especially in relationships, right? Especially men with placements in Shravana, as far as I've seen, they tend to be quite traditional because, hello, this falls in Capricorn, right? And this person, I have to say, with all the number 8s coming through, I would be very surprised if they didn't have a prominent Saturn and or Capricorn energy. So irrespective of their gender, this person is probably going to have pretty traditional views and approaches towards relationships, especially romantic relationships. And they're also very imaginative, all right, with Shravana. Very imaginative. So this nakshatra is very much connected to arts and creativity. A lot of, yeah, I mean, a lot of famous people have all of these nakshatras, to be honest, but Shravana in particular, you know, I can think of quite a few very famous actors who are very charming and charming, good looking, magical, created memorable roles like Viggo Mortensen, for instance. I was just thinking about this actually. Liv Tyler, actually, I think Liv Tyler has Moon in Purva Ashadha, but I'm not 100% sure. She might be Shravana. I think she's Purva Ashadha still, but she might have some Shravana as well. Viggo Mortensen, though, definitely has Moon in Shravana. Vivian Lee had Moon in Shravana. And also I tend to notice that, people with Moon in Shravana, especially because Moon in astrology shows the face among many other things, they tend to be really good looking. They tend to have like beautiful features, classically beautiful features, you know, while at the same time having this kind of a bit of a cold, detached aura about them because Shravana is ruled by the moon and it falls in Capricorn. It's pretty cold and pretty detached, and the moon can be also kind of dreamy and aloof. But yeah, Travana can be good listeners, so they can also really like stories, they can like imagination, they can be very creative, and also very pragmatic at the same time. They have like a firm grip on reality. All right. Also, I have to say, with Jupiter and this person's makeup, I mean, Jupiter came out as a separate planet here. Um, yeah, not just the repeated theme that this person could be from a faraway place from you. You know, they could be also someone who likes to travel a lot. But I think with Jupiter, they could have some pretty strong, well-defined beliefs, you know, and belief systems. So they could be religious, but even if they're not religious, they just are the kind of people who have a set of principles and a set of beliefs that they live their lives by, most likely. All right, this is pretty much what I have for you, pile number 3. Dear God, over 1 hour long. You know, when I started this video many moons ago, my plan was like, I'm just gonna do a short reading, like maybe an hour for 3 piles. Yeah, that didn't work out. I guess I've been away for too long, and like all this stuff just started pouring out and stuff. Yeah, but anyway, I hope you really enjoy this. I definitely have very strong messages. Of course, take what resonates. Take it how it resonates. Feel free to come back to this reading at some point in the future where, you know, maybe you meet someone who reminds you of anything that I've said in this video. Of course, if you have enjoyed it, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. It's the easiest way to support me, and it is free. Also, please click on the notifications bell if you want to see when I will upload a new reading. Also, please comment in the comment section with any feedback you would like to share, what you liked, what you didn't like, how it resonated, how it didn't, any other topics that you would like me to cover on my channel. And also, aside from that, of course, if you're interested in getting a private tarot reading, check out the video description. I will leave my email address there. You can email me for a pricing list and reading options and any other information. I mention this all the time. I do not spam people, so don't worry about that. I don't save emails or anything for later. If you email me, I will just send you the information you have asked for. And if you're interested to see reviews that I have gotten for private readings before, you can also check out the video description. I will leave a link to reviews I've gotten before a long time ago, like probably about 4 or 5 years ago, when I used to do readings anonymously through a website. So yeah, aside from that, if you would like to become a member, I have neglected that section, I admit, but I will be posting some new videos within the next 2-3 weeks tops. And aside from that, of course, if you would like to support further, you can leave a tip. Any amount would be greatly appreciated. And also, you can just share this video with as many people as you'd like, especially people that you know are interested in tarot. Aside from the last thing that I want to say, and I have mentioned this, I think, in this reading. I definitely have mentioned it in the beginning and in the other 2 piles. I have an astrology channel called Astro Martine. I will be linking it in the video description as well. And if you are interested in astrology, I do videos mainly on Vedic astrology there, which means that I use the whole sign house system and the sidereal zodiac. But I also use my insight from tropical and a bunch of other astrological systems that I have studied over the years. I have more than 20 years of experience in reading horoscopes, more than 10 in Vedic astrology, and that's my preferred system because I found it to be the most accurate. However, I do a lot of my own research, as you will see, and I'm sure many of you already know because you come from my astrology channel. But yes, if you go on my astrology channel and you watch some of my videos, you will see that I present a lot of examples and a lot of my own patterns that I have discovered that are very relevant in astrology, and I sometimes use insights from tropical, even though they're not really taken that seriously in Vedic, just because they show results. So yeah, if you're curious about Vedic or any kind of astrology, go ahead and check out my astrology channel. Maybe subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope to see you at my next tarot reading.